Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of YouTube Take. I am your host, Big Red 310, with my two guests here.
Got Nightmareballa1.
And yours truly has returned. Nightmare10, Nightmare 8, whatever you want to call me.
Philip.
You
Phil
know
Bayless,
what?
whatever.
And he's not Philip Bayless this week because he's actually been on point. If y'all been following his Twitter, Phil's been on point this week, so I can't really say much.
And Skip has been extremely off point this week.
Well, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that, yes. But anyways, the NFL season is here and gone. A lot of stuff to talk about this week. But first, we have to talk about one of the most newsworthy retirements probably in the past 10 years. Ray Lewis, arguably the best linebacker and arguably the best defender to ever play the game, announced that this will be his last season.
No, it is not. But go ahead,
okay, hey, I'm just doing it for, God damn it, Markeem.
I don't mean to say it like that because I love Ray Lewis, but we'll get to that.
What do you say? I missed that.
Nothing. You just leave it.
Well, I think I know what you said. Best linebacker ever.
Yeah. So, he retired this week. He said that this season will be his last season. He said that that part of the reason is his son is gonna go to the University of Miami next year.
And he wanted to be at all his games.
He wanted to be at all his games. He wanted to be a contributing father.
You can't blame the guy for that. I mean, he's done his time, and done his time. That sounds like he's been in jail.
It makes it like he's been in jail.
But I'm saying like it's time for I'm sure he's wanting to focus on his family, and I can't knock a guy for that at all.
No. And I didn't think this was much of a surprise. I thought kind of win or lose, this would be his last year. But Markeem, Ray Lewis, where does he rank all time?
He is, in terms of linebackers, he's at least top 3. In terms of defenders, there's no way in hell he's the best defender of all time. And I don't mean to say it like that, but come on, son. Like, anyone that says that is just clearly uneducated about the game. Lawrence Taylor was the most dominant force to ever step on a football field, both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? You got Deion Sanders, who pretty much changed the way corners are used. Guys like Darrelle Revis, Charles Woodson, everything. They would not play the style they do had it not been for Deion Sanders. We got Reggie White, who was unblockable, completely unblockable. You know what I mean? I could do this all day. That's not a knock on Ray Lewis because in terms of impacting a defense and making everyone around him play better, I would say aside from Deion Sanders, there's never been a player like Ray Lewis, ever. You know what I mean? But to say he's the best defender ever is a little ridiculous. But I would say he's top 10, possibly top 5, possibly. It all depends. Like, he's probably not in my top 5. If I had to think about it real quick, it'd be Lawrence Taylor, Primetime, Reggie White, Dick Butkus, and well, you know what? He might be number 5. Yeah, he might be number 5. Number 5. That's where Ray ranks. But the dude was dynamite. Absolutely dynamite. And I feel like, in terms of, let's put it like this. In terms of defensive players that have impacted their team to win, in terms of where you had guys that like weren't necessarily elite guys, but he turned them into elite guys like Peter Boulware and who's some other guys? Tony Saragusa, that's another one. That's the prime example. Chris McAllister, guys like that who aren't elite at all. I mean, let's be real. Chris McAllister, good corner, but he was not an elite corner. You know what I mean? And Ray Lewis was kind of like. Even Skip Bayless, I gotta give him props for this, but he's an idiot. But I gotta give him props for this. He said that Ray Lewis was kind of like the Peyton Manning or Dan Marino of defenses, where he would totally break down what was going on in front of him, relay it to everyone on the team, and the entire team would benefit from it. The 2000 Ravens, I don't think it's a debate. I don't think it's arguable. I don't see how anyone could dispute the fact that's the best defense to ever play. Ever.
Better
2000 Ravens.
Better than
What you gonna say? What you gonna say, kid?
Obviously the 73 Dolphins.
I knew that was coming.
No, I'm 85 Bears, dude.
I still say that Ravens team. I still say that Ravens team because of the shutouts they pitched. And Tom Jackson had a good story about Ray when he said that when they were covering that Super Bowl, he walked up to Ray and he asked him. He was like, realistically, how many points do you think the offense will have to cover for y'all to win this game? And Ray Lewis looked him dead in the eye and said 3. And then they shut him out. Y'all remember that game?
Wow.
The only points the defense didn't give up any points. The only points the team gave up in general was that kickoff return. That was it.
For those who don't know, Ed Reed was not on that Super Bowl team. Just like, get facts straight and all.
Oh yeah, he was still in college.
Yeah, he was.
He was still where? Oh yeah, the greatest team of all time.
Oh
gosh.
Arguably. But yeah, I mean, I ain't got much to say. He's at least top 3 linebackers of all time. It depends how generous you want to be with Mike Singletary. His career was weird. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he was just as good as anybody for a stretch of time, and then he got hurt and just wasn't the same player. So if you want to go with, you want to put him there, that's fine too. But I feel like, Ray Lewis is at least top 3 linebackers ever, and top 5 in my top 5 defensive players ever. But anyone that says he's the best has no knowledge of the game of football. I'm sorry. There's no way. I love the guy, but there's no way. No way.
What I was gonna say is I mean, as far I haven't seen. I mean, to me personally, I would say I haven't seen enough. I mean, I'm 24, but I don't think I've seen enough football to even say that. What you're saying, but he's to me, I think he's the best linebacker I've ever watched. Like when I've been fully into football. I mean, yeah, when I was younger, Lawrence Taylor, but I didn't watch enough of him to really say anything. But definitely a great guy. I mean, as far as where he ranks, I'm not going to go into all that. But yeah, Ray. I mean, I think this helps the Ravens a lot, and we'll get to that later. But I think that this is an added boost that the Ravens need, and I think that's why he did it. I don't think Ray Lewis, for anyone that thinks that he might have done it, I don't think Ray Lewis did this for anything for like spotlight on him. It was all for, I think, motivational reasons. I honestly think that's why he announced before the season, just to kind of give his team that extra boost.
I think that without question, he's top 3 linebackers. I don't even think that's arguable. Lawrence Taylor really did change the way defense was played. Like the 3-4 defense was kind of invented because of him. Honestly,
I forgot to say that. You're right.
He was really one of the main reasons how defenses are structured today. I would argue, in my opinion, he's the greatest of all time. But Ray Lewis, none without a doubt.
Like a lot of, I hate to cut you off real quick, kid, but like a lot before then, a lot of linebackers, you wouldn't see them with like double digit number sacks because that wasn't their job. Their job was just to try and stop the runner after he got off the line of scrimmage. Lawrence Taylor kind of changed all that.
And I think Lawrence Taylor deserves a lot of credit for that. And Ray Lewis is still I'm not getting it twisted here. Ray Lewis is without a doubt one of the best ever. 12-time Pro Bowler.
I thought it was 13.
No, Tony Gonzalez was 13, I think.
You sure?
Hey, I'm here for the stats and the results. Yeah, Ray Lewis. Oh no, Ray Lewis is 13.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
And that's even more impressive. I think that's like 5 for second all time or something like that.
Yeah.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Tony Gonzalez is 13 as well. But Tony Gonzalez got named to this year's Pro Bowl, and Ray did not.
And it probably would have been 14 if he been healthy.
Yeah, had he been healthy,
he was playing well. And the Pro Bowl, it don't even matter if he's playing well. If Tim Tebow gets voted in as alternate, go ahead, kid.
God damn it. Fan voting is only 50%.
Phil, even you got it, man. That's
ridiculous. I know. Running back over him. To be honest, I mean, he wasn't. He didn't have Pro Bowl numbers. I mean, that's not the kind of quarterback he is.
I think that for Ray, I think he'll more be remembered for his, leadership and motivational skills than his actual defensive ability. Without a doubt, he was one of the best. But, when you think Ray Lewis, you think like, oh my God, that's the greatest leader ever. Like, you don't. You
think that Super Bowl team, man.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you can make the argument that he might be the best defensive leader ever. Yeah.
So now,
that's
right.
I don't think that's not well right there.
Right.
So now we go to the next question, which is, how does this affect? I know I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit here, but everyone's been talking about it all week. How does this affect the Ravens-Colts game this week, or the Ravens season?
I think it's huge. Honestly, like I think it helps. You saw me. I mean, we talked. I think what was it? I guess 2 shows ago, or whatever. When was it 2 shows or 3? I don't know. When I picked them to beat the Broncos, did I pick them to beat the Broncos?
Or and then
you Giant or whatever game.
It was the Broncos. It was the Broncos.
It was the Broncos, right? Because I thought he was coming back, and he didn't come back. Obviously, we were wrong about that. But you know my opinions on that. I think that's going to make a huge difference. Plus, I mean, I don't think he's going to look at this game as this is his last home game, but essentially he has to. I mean, the Ravens, the only way they would probably get another home game is if huge upset.
Is if the Bengals go to the AFC Championship game.
Right. So, I mean, that's the only way, which I'm not saying, whatever, but,
that would not happen. I'm
right.
Going out on a limb.
I think we are going out on a limb. I'm saying that's not the odds. I'll even give it I'll give it a 0.01% chance of happening. We'll give it that. But I think this is huge. I really do. I think and I think a lot of the other players are going to be healthy. I think Suggs is playing. I think Reed's playing. I think a lot of other Nada is playing. All of those guys are going to be there. And I just don't see the Ravens losing this game now. I just don't now. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. We'll get the picks later, but
Markeem?
I do think it impacts the team. I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to say it doesn't. But think about game day, though. Let's take away, the fact that he's retiring and all that stuff. What will Ray Lewis do that would be different than what he does any other game day? The same speech. It'll be the same dance.
That's not speech ever, probably.
I mean, but even still, though, it's still, what you're gonna get is Ray Lewis. I mean, this is not like let's say Mike Jordan when he announced, before the finals, this is it. He came back, but when he announced this is it for me, and we've never in our life, at least not watching those Bulls. Those last two games, they were amazing. The Jazz were too, because they didn't want to go home. They were amazing those last two games, and it was different for Jordan because Jordan was like not as vocal and not as outspoken as, let's say, Ray Lewis. You know what I mean? It wasn't like when Jordan said that they literally wanted to win for Jordan. How is them wanting to win for Ray different this week than it is any other week? You know what I mean? He's Ray. You know what I mean? That's not a knock at all. I'm saying I don't get how the atmosphere would change.
Well, it is his last playoff game.
But I gotta think this though. I mean, granted it's the playoffs, but I really do think though the players on that team have known all year that Ray was leaving this year.
Yeah, and that too. I forgot about that. I think so.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
I don't think it's a shock to them because I think they kind of known that Ray was, Ray was good. I don't think he would have sprung. I don't think the type of teammate he is. I don't think he would have sprung that on his team. I mean, I don't think he would have did.
Right, they pretty much knew. Right, that's true.
I think they've had to have known, and I think because of that, I think they're gonna play at what they would have played before. Now, granted. Does that mean that they were going to go to the Super Bowl anyways? I don't know. I don't think this announcement changes anything because they've known. I don't think you're all of a sudden going to see a different Ravens team than you saw last week. Maybe this is going to be the Ravens team. This is just how they're going to perform in the postseason because, they know they have to win for Ray. But Ray announcing it to the world, I don't think means anything because I think the team has known that forever. I mean, at least after that game last year, Ray was probably like, I'll go one more year. We got one more year to get it done. But yeah, I don't know. It's obviously a factor. I just think it's a little overblown. And I think people are also forgetting about Chuck Strong, which is also pretty fucking strong. No pun intended. I mean that's the Colts going 11-5, and yes, Andrew Luck is amazing and all that. The Colts going 11-5 to me this season is more amazing than the Ravens winning the Super Bowl this year. Because just no one expected this team to reach 500, much less get to the playoffs. And I'm not going to be like Skip, who kind of backhand gives all the credit to Pagano because he doesn't want to admit that Luck did a great job.
That's annoying too. That's annoying too. Oh my god!
Every single time he mentions the Colts, he says, "Yeah, they got 11-5. The Pagano motivation, one of the greatest." He just casually doesn't want to mention that Luck won 11 games. But I really do think Chuck Pagano is also a strong influence,
quarter, which he loves so much. But he's the biggest hypocrite on the air. Period.
No, I would
like
agree.
even more so than Rush Limbaugh. He's the biggest hypocrite on the air.
Rush Limbaugh.
So, I think people, you can pick the Ravens are going to win. I mean, they're at home. They're the better team. But I think people are relying too much on influences outside of the game here. I think that at the end of the day, whoever wins, I think if the Ravens win, it won't be all of a sudden because Ray Lewis is retiring. I think they'll win because they're the better team. And if the Colts win, I don't think it's all of a sudden because of Chuck Strong. I think they're going to win because Luck outplays Flacco. Like, I don't know. I know people love the drama and love the hype. And in my opinion, this is the most interesting game this week. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not.
I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree too.
I like RG3 Russell Wilson.
I have that. Those two teams are exactly.
Actually, I disagree with both of y'all.
Oh wow,
mine is the Vikings and Packers.
Dude,
wow.
RG3 Wilson is the two same teams playing each other, except the Seahawks are a much better version of that team. Like I don't see that one.
Right, but I just think that's a mostly street. Well, I can't say the word.
I'm looking forward to this one. Mainly because it's just intriguing. I mean, the Colts, when they beat the Texans, they looked good. Like the previous weeks, okay, they're getting by. They're beating bad teams, blah, blah, blah. That game against the Texans, after that, I was like, wow. This team legit looks like a playoff team. This team looks like a threat.
Legit look like a playoff QB. You're right. Andrew Luck.
He looked incredible. But I think Ray Lewis, and I'm not saying that Ray Lewis and Chuck Pagano won't have influences. I'm merely saying it's overblown. I don't think like without Chuck Pagano, does this team like all of a sudden get massacred by the Ravens? I don't know. But I don't think I just don't. At the end of the day, a lot of the power comes into the skills of the players in the game. And that is what it is. Just my opinion.
That's true.
Anyways, next move on to final season thoughts.
Hold on. Phil, you got anything to add?
No, that's it. I said baseball.
Your kid don't do. You got to make sure neither one of us got nothing to say. Kid.
I waited. I gave like
he did pause.
I put like a several second pause, waiting for other comments. That usually is like me opening the floor to you.
You should ask though. You should still ask,
Mr. Moderator.
It would make me feel better.
God damn it! Fine, conspiracy theory bullshit. Well, Markeem, if you want to feel better, why don't you talk about your Eagles final season recap, review, all this and that.
You want me to feel better and talk about the Eagles?
Don't piss off the moderator.
I'm gonna be honest. This season is not all that shocking to me because I was not high on this team. All the Super Bowl predictions and all this stuff. What is wrong with people? Not just certain people. People like smart, intelligent. Like one of the people in this call picked them to go to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like people I know that are smarter than this. I'm like, what are y'all thinking? Michael Vick is quarterback. Y'all really believe Michael Vick can get anyone to the Super Bowl? Y'all really believe that? Yeah, I mean Andy Reid, Andy Reid has not had a clue. Let's be honest, for like 5 years. Do you remember when Brian? Even then, do you remember when we had Brian Westbrook, who always would get hurt? That's true. But he would never just hand him the ball. He would never just give him the ball because he was turning into one of the best running backs in the league. LeSean McCoy, I knew this was going to happen. I knew, but not to this extent. I didn't think it'd be lottery pick bad. I thought it'd be like 7-9, 6-10. It didn't shock me at all. I was like, I know what's about to happen here. And I knew he was about to get fired. And all these people, Super Bowl, I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? All of you. The one thing that does have me kind of optimistic about the season, though, is at the end of the season, let's throw the Giants game out. Let's throw that out. That doesn't even count. I don't know what team that was. That seemed like a mid-tier college team going against an NFL team. That was one of the worst performances I have seen in years from any team ever. It's like it was close at first, and then the Giants scored and they gave up. That's how that game felt. Like the Giants scored and then they were like, okay, let's go home. Season over. It was that almost made me cry. I ain't gonna lie. Usually sports don't get to me like that. There have been a couple times, but that almost made me cry. I'm not gonna lie. That was so flat. But the one thing that does have me excited about next season is Nick Foles. I truly believe this kid is smart. He's just not physically there. I think in the off season he'll work on his body. I said this when he was in college, When he was in college, thing that sold me on him was he had to drive against Arizona State. At Arizona State. He was driving against them. Now he had to go 98 yards in a minute and 10 seconds and get in the end zone. He got in the end zone on a 40-yard pass with no time left. And I was like, okay. Because if y'all don't know, it is crazy out there in the sun, you know what I mean, in the fucking sun. I mean, think about it. It's a daytime game in Arizona. You know what I mean, against your rival, the loudest game you'll see all year. I mean, he had to do this in a minute and 10 seconds, and he was like a sophomore at the time. So think about that. You know, that sold me on him mentally. You know, I mean, I just think he's just not big enough. You know, I wonder if he gets hit enough in the NFL, how would he handle it? You know what I mean? And you know, and we kind of see that, you know, physically he needs to be bigger. You know what I mean? He needs to work on certain things, but mentally he's already there. He has me intrigued. I really believe that with a little bit of seasoning, Nick Foles could be a very productive QB in this league and help us win. And not only that, I'm kind of excited to see who we get to replace Andy Reid. And if y'all don't know, you know, jumping ahead a little bit, but not really. Andy Reid already got a job. You know what I mean? He's still a good coach. And to replace someone that's been that good, you know, I mean, let's be real. I would say at this point, he's probably the second best coach to never win a Super Bowl. Did y'all agree with that?
What now?
He's probably the second best coach to never win a Super Bowl.
Who would be first?
Dan Reeves.
Dan Reeves, dude.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, would you agree with that, kid? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would. I would have no problems.
You know, what you saying?
I would have no problems with that. Yeah, I would go with that.
Like, you know, and they have to replace this guy. You know, and I'm excited and concerned at the same time, and I'm glad we're getting a high draft pick, because I want us to get Barrett Jones and put him right at center, because he can come in and play now at the NFL level. And we need Barrett Jones immediately, because the middle of our offensive line is the weakest shit I've seen in a long time. Ask Mike Vick about that. I'll give him a little pass about that, because as soon as he hikes the ball, it's a guy legit right in his face. You know what I mean? So we need something there, and put Barrett Jones in now, because he'd be better than whatever the fuck his name is. He'd be better than him. And then we got hurt a lot in the offensive line too. I just feel like I'm just glad that we will be at the top of every round, so we'll get something good, you know. And I feel like, even though I like Jeremy Maclin, you know, Deshaun Jackson, I don't like him. That's just being real. I feel like he's one of the most overrated players in the fucking game. And like his yards, his stats are very deceiving, because he's not like Wes Welker, who, you know, is another small guy. But the thing about Wes Welker is that every down, every play, you can rely on him to at least draw a double team or get open. You know what I mean? Now, Wes Welker, to be as small as he is legit one of the top 5 receivers in the game. This fool here, he just catches a couple long passes, his numbers look inflated, and people think this dude can actually play. Well, legit, he's what Steve Smith was back in 2003, a big play guy. I mean, Steve Smith eventually became the receiver he is in Carolina. But at first, he was legit just a big play guy. Deshaun Jackson is essentially Steve Smith in 2003. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest with, you know, let's be real with ourselves. But anyway, that's just my little Deshaun Jackson rant. But we gotta, like, we just need a new offensive line. I still kind of need a receiver, not really. Not, it's not, you know, it's not
like a late round or something.
Yeah. And I feel like we kind of need a linebacker too, because I don't trust those guys. Like those guys are horrible against the run. You know what I mean? They're just we on defense we're soft. I'll just be real. On defense we're soft. But I feel like this season could have been a total failure had Michael Vick stayed in the whole time and just got knocked around. But I'll say this. Until the Eagles announced that they have released Michael Vick, you know, this season was not a total failure. But if they're keeping Michael Vick, this season was a total failure. Now, that's how I feel about the Eagles. We need to go in a totally different direction. Andy Reid's gone. Let's get rid of Andy Reid's guy. That's how I feel. Go ahead.
Well, conversely, when it comes to my Miami Dolphins, at the start of the season, I had everybody and their mothers telling me that this was the worst team in football. And I just found that to be insulting. Like, I was legitimately
I'm
insulted.
guilty of that. I raise my hand and be guilty. I'm sorry, kid.
Hey, I was guilty of the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Don't worry about it.
I didn't think they'd be bad, but I did have them fourth in the division, so so I eat my words there too.
I remember I got into a big fight saying this team will finish 6-10, and that's what I said. I said this team will finish 6-10, and everyone was like, "Are you kidding me? They'll be lucky if they go 4-12, first pick in the draft." And I'm just like, why? Why do people think this team is so bad? Because they're undercovered? Because they started off 0-7 last season? They finished 6-10. Like, this team, for those of you who don't know, has one winning season in the past 5 years. No, the past 6 years. Which is kind of sad. But every other year, we don't finish top 5 draft pick, top 10 draft pick. I think we've gotten a top 10 draft pick like once the past 6 years. Every year we finish.
Really?
Yes. Look it up. Last year 6-10. The year before that 7-9. Year before that 7-9. Year before that 11-5. I mean, year before that 1-15.
The last time I remember the Dolphins being even in the conversation of the top 5 was when they took Jake Long #1.
Like, legitimately, it was so infuriating to have so many people just completely write this team off when I know this team. I mean, all the issues on defense, the issues with our secondary, and the issues with our linebackers, and getting a new defensive tackle, we fixed. We fixed all 3, and those are my main concerns going into the season. I didn't think our receiving core would be as bad as it was. Obviously, this was before Vontae got traded, and Sean Smith kind of underperformed the second half of the season. Now our cornerbacks need a lot of work. But really, I thought, we have Reggie, we have Tannehill, we'll be fine. We won't be a playoff team, but we'll be fine. And it just really boggles my mind how this team...
You thought Tannehill would play when the season started?
Yes. Once Garrard got hurt, I was certain. I was certain because... with the new management, I thought needed to deliver a new quarterback to the fan base, to deliver hope, to deliver future. Matt Moore's good, but Matt Moore, I think he's better than Tannehill, but barely. Honestly, barely. So I thought, we know what Matt Moore has a ceiling. I still believe that Matt Moore is a good backup quarterback, but I don't believe he'll ever take you to a playoff game by himself. I think he can be on a team in an Alex Smith type role, do enough to get by and assist all the other components of the offense and have the defense take over and deliver to get you to the playoffs or to the NFC Championship game or whatever. But he can't do it on his own. Tannehill, we didn't know. This guy, we don't know his ceiling. Let's put him out there. Let's see what his ceiling is. I was of the opinion of starting Garrard because Garrard, I thought, is kind of got a little too much grief. I mean, this guy went to the playoffs with Jacksonville. He won a playoff game.
He played the safest football ever, man. This dude never turned the ball over.
You realize his career quarterback rating is higher than Eli Manning's? It's higher than a lot of quarterbacks in this league. His career quarterback rating is an 86. By comparison, Matt Ryan's is a 90. He had a good career. And I wanted him to start. I thought with him as quarterback, I thought if he was quarterback this year, I thought for sure we would have gotten 8-8 at least. Because he wouldn't have made a lot of those rookie mistakes that Tannehill did against the Titans and against the Bills and against the Colts and the first Jets game, the first Cardinals game. I thought if he was in those positions, we would have won half those games and probably finished 8-8, 9-7. So I do think that the season, compared to what people had us at the start, was moderately successful. I mean, this was the best team I've seen since the playoff team. But at the end of the day, the Dolphins are the Dolphins, and it's the same feeling I get every time. This looked like a new team. This looked like an improved team. Everyone was even saying, wow, this team will be at the playoff level maybe in a year or two. But at the end of the day, we go to Foxborough. We completely shit the bed. The worst game I've seen them play all season. That's not even close. Yes, the 37-3 Titans massacre was better than this. This was just awful. I was quite appalled at how everyone was playing on both sides of the ball. And the team really looked to just not care in the fourth quarter. And at the end of the day, after all that progress, after everyone getting more coverage, everyone praising the Dolphins a little more, everyone admitting they were wrong, at the end of the day, we're the same fucking record we've had for the past 3 years. At the end of the day, the bottom line, even with I get it, new coach, new quarterback, all this and that. At the end of the day, it's the same old shit. And this is my team. Everybody knows that. My passion.
You don't feel a little bit better though, having Tannehill?
At the end of the day, I mean, how many quarterbacks have we seen come through this city and deliver 7 and 9? Like, I like that we have a quarterback that we're going to stick with. But, you know, Chad Henne, his first season was 7 and 9. And Chad Henne, his first season didn't look bad. It was his second season when he started fucking up. So, at the end of the day, here's what I can say. I can look towards the future with a smile on my face, as opposed to last year where I had no coach, I had no quarterback, and I was really unsure. I know we got a good team, but honestly, until we reach that level that everyone keeps saying, I mean, until we reach that playoff level, like we've been saying for 4 years that we're 1 or 2 years away from, that's when I can officially be a happy Dolphins fan. It's like the Hurricanes. For the past God knows how many years, I've heard people say, don't worry, kid, in a year or two, the Hurricanes will be a 10-2, 11-1 team vying for the national title. I've heard that shit every year. I'm hearing it.
Who said that to you? Who lied to you like that?
Everyone in this community. Well, look, you have to understand that a lot of people were really, really down on Randy Shannon as a coach. And a lot of people, especially for Jacory's sophomore and junior year, really, really felt that this team was an 11-1, 10-2 team. And because of Randy, we just fell by the wayside. We did have some very...
Y'all have not had a talent until this year.
Well, but
y'all have that talent now. I think next year that might be the case.
My point is, when it comes to the Dolphins, I can only wait for so long. I can only wait for the promised land. You know, these past 4 years have been the worst 4-year span in the history of this franchise. Like, at the end of the day, how can I smile? In 2010, the Dolphins went into the Patriots road game as the last week of the season. They went into the game 7-8, and they got massacred. And we finished 7-9, and the team collapsed. And the next season, it was just a disaster because it looked like the team had quit on Sperano. And then that Patriots game this year, it was the same shit. Going into the game 7-8, get massacred, and it looked like the team quit on Philbin. It's like the exact same fucking thing. So how the hell am I supposed to automatically be optimistic that we're doing playoffs next year? When, in reality, you know, I saw the exact same result that I saw in 2010. The exact same finish to the season. There is some progress. We beat the Bengals. We beat the Seahawks. We used to not even be able to beat playoff teams. The Dolphins' mantra for a long time was that they would always beat every team below 500. But when it came to winning playoff games, when it came to beating the playoff teams, they wouldn't be able to get it done. That used to be our mantra. And, you know, we beat the Bengals, we beat the Seahawks. Bengals on the road. I can be proud of that. 2 years ago, we beat the Packers, the year the Packers won the Super Bowl in Lambeau. But we usually, those are two victories against two legit playoff contending teams. I could be happy with that. It's just frustrating 1 year after another to see the same result at the end of the season and expect better. I'll expect better when better comes, honestly. And nonetheless, I wouldn't call the season a failure. I wouldn't say that at all. I would say it was fine. It was a fine season. I'm just, as a fan, frustrated, and this season didn't do a whole lot to alleviate my frustrations. What we need to do, we need to get a cornerback first off. People think our offense is slow and our defense is great. Well, our cornerback is our biggest problem, without question. Sean Smith needs some more help on the other side. Sean Smith may not even come back as a Dolphins this season. And Nolan Carroll and Dimitri Patterson, I mean, they're just not going to cut it. We obviously need another receiver. We signed Armand Binns, who dropped 3 huge passes in the Patriots game, including a touchdown that would have tied the game up, which is very unfortunate. I mean, we would have been down 14-7. New number 1 receiver. Hartline's really... I've always thought that Hartline is a great receiver. I've thought this for years. And I've always thought that Hartline could be a very, very successful number 2 receiver in this league. I did not think he could be a first option, you know, Marcus Colston, Reggie Wayne, fucking Steve Smith, whatever these guys.
So you think you think he's basically what's his face? He's basically an Anquan Bolden.
Yes. Good example. I think that's where he'll be best at. Because, I mean, this season, I mean, he had 1,000 yards, but our offense was also 28th in the NFL in points. You know, I mean, that's just not going to cut it. And I think our number one priority is signing a top-name wide receiver free agent this offseason. A lot of names rumored. Greg Jennings is rumored to sign with us in the offseason. Mike Wallace is another one. You know, Dwayne Bowe, Fitz. I've heard all the rumors. I'm just going to wait and see what we do. I do not want a receiver in the draft. I fully believe you built a team through the draft and not free agency. But a receiver, for a top receiver, we need a free agency. We can't get that immediate need in the draft right away. At least I don't think. I think we're better off getting.
And there are none in it.
Exactly.
There are no really ones in the draft.
I mean, there's a good bit in the free agency this year too.
Yeah, there's a good receiver pool in free agency. I mean, the only receivers in the draft that I really like and I've seen some film on is Terrence Williams from Baylor. Tall dude.
That dude's a monster. That dude is a monster.
Tall dude, creates great separation, fast as fuck. I mean, he would be my pick personally.
But he has his problem is the Brandon Lloyd thing. His football IQ is horrible. Just horrible.
That's not good.
But sometimes the ball gets lost in the air and shit like that. It's not good.
So we'll see. We'll see how it works with him and with other wide receivers. New cornerback, like I mentioned earlier. Reggie's probably not going to come back. For those that don't know, good chance that he doesn't sign with the Dolphins next year. He finished with 987 yards, 13 shy of 1,000. Still the third best back-to-back season production from a running back ever in Miami. So I don't consider his time with us a failure by any means. I thought he kind of rejuvenated his career in a way as a legit, reliable top running back, a number one option, every down back type deal. And he wasn't given that reputation in New Orleans. So, like I said, I think the season was fine. I'm still frustrated. My frustration's not going away. But, hey, I mean, I can't be disappointed with, I mean, at the end of the day, we did some good, we did some bad. Nothing I can really say was truly an awful year. Anything to add?
He did finish second in the division over the awful Jets and Bills. You got to give him.
We finished second in the division for the first time since that was the first time we finished above third since the playoff year.
Right.
And Phil, you should be honored that you've been left out of this discussion. That means your team is still relevant.
Yes. I'm actually glad I haven't had to do a speech. I hope I don't do one of those in a long time.
So next we move
on.
But
I mean.
No, sorry. Anything to add, Markeem? Anything to add, Phil? Anything to add?
Yes, I do have something to add. I just want to say, if you can't think that these guys are fans of their teams, man, just listen. I just enjoyed sitting and listening to both of y'all. That was great. So hopefully everybody else enjoyed it like I did.
I know I'm always harping on the Eagles, but I am still a fan. It's just this season was rough. But I knew it was going to be rough. I had my expectations really low, and they didn't disappoint me. I'm not as mad as you would think.
That's the thing too, Markeem. You wouldn't be this hostile. You wouldn't be this hostile if you didn't care, you know?
Yeah.
Like you would have probably been like, Eagles season, another one of those crappy seasons. Bye. You know, that's how you would be if you didn't care. So
that last game, I was legit really upset though. I was like, how y'all just like y'all can play spoiler right now. Y'all can eliminate any chance. I mean, they ended up making playoffs, but y'all can just get rid of them now.
Right.
Y'all don't even want to do that, really? It pissed me off.
Especially since you picked them to win one of the few times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next we move on to Tony Romo. Tony Romo, once again, balls in his hands. 3 minutes left in the game. Down by 3 points against the Redskins. Win, go to the playoffs. Lose, go home. And Tony Romo, on the second pass attempt of that drive, throws an absolutely horrible pass for an interception, costing the Cowboys the game. We've heard this story many, many times. Romo, ever since his first year in the NFL in 2006, has a reputation for completely being unclutched and single-handedly giving away games for the Cowboys. He's done it many times, unfortunately. And, this one was bad. Like, at least in previous years, like last year, the whole team just got outmatched by the Giants. He threw a few picks, but I wouldn't, like that Miles Austin catch.
I wouldn't blame that on him.
No, not at all. And the 44-point massacre to the Eagles the year they didn't make the playoffs. Again, the Eagles were just a better team. Outplayed them. He only had, I think, 2 picks that game. The 07 game against the Giants in the playoffs. Again, same thing. The Giants were just the Giants won the Super Bowl that year. He threw a pick at the very end of the game with 0 seconds left on the clock to, I think, tie, maybe win. I don't remember. But the Giants were the better team. 06, when he, when he fucked up the field goal against the Seahawks in the wild card, that was bad. And that was all him. That was completely his fault. But since then, he hasn't really had a game where you can blame it all on him. You kind of categorize the Cowboys as being failures, not Romo. This game, there is no doubt about it. This was all Romo's fault. And obviously they had a lot of injuries. I know that. And they allowed Alfred Morris to run for 200 yards. I know that. But at the end of the day, the ball was in his hands, and he screwed it up. And I was one of the few people that trusted the Cowboys this year. And for the past 5 years, I've said that you can't trust them, blah, blah, blah. They don't get it done. This year, I thought was different. I thought the car accident, and I thought the fact that they were winning in December, which they've never done before, I thought meant that it was a different team, and it was a different time, and this team was going to go far. But instead, Tony Romo proved all the critics right and proved me to be wrong and proved me to never fucking pick that team again at this point. So, Markeem, what does this mean for his legacy? That he did it again.
Let Phil go first.
All right, Phil, go first.
Want me to go first?
Yeah,
Everybody's saying, "Oh, poor Romo." I feel bad for Romo. Whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I think it's more of a Cowboy problem than it is a Romo problem. I know Romo, but in this last game, he had a chance to when you have a chance to stop to shut up the critics, to change your legacy in a sense, and you make a bad throw like that. I mean, he knew. I mean, you can just look at Tony Romo. He didn't take his helmet off after that at all. I mean, I think the rest of the game he had his helmet on. It seemed like, so it's like the dude knew he needed to make a play, and he made the mistake that he knew that everybody was going to look at in that game. It's there are problems the Cowboys have. The offensive line, the defense isn't where it should be when you have Rob Ryan on there. The defense should be in check. But I mean, I don't feel bad for Tony Romo. I mean, he's had plenty of chances, so I definitely don't feel bad for the guy. But is it time to move on from Tony Romo? I don't think so. I don't think so just yet. But I mean, we'll see. I really think they need an offensive line because that's obviously a problem. But I mean, I don't really have much to say as far as it's the same old with the Cowboys and Tony Romo. So I mean, not much more I can say really. Mark, you can go ahead.
I kind of agree with that. But I'm going to say this. I did feel bad for Tony Romo. Man, did y'all see him after he threw that pick?
He looked
yeah.
He was going
I did feel sad at that point. Yeah, I did feel sorry for him at that point.
I was like, he looked so just, oh my God. Pretty Mark wants to join. But it was funny because he like after he threw the pick, you saw like when he when I think it was who was that? Des Bryant came up. And he was trying to talk to him, and he turned around he completely turned his back on Des Bryant. I was like, oh man. I was like, oh man. I just like the one thing I can't say about him is that, and this is the one thing I do like about him is that he cares. At least he gave a shit. You know what I mean? At least it actually affected him.
Right.
What happened? But I feel like this is pretty much him. Like and what Stephen A. Smith said 2 days ago was right on the fucking money. This organization, dog. I really believe that Tony Romo got the opportunity anywhere else, he would be like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. We'd be talking about him like that's how talented that dude is, man. It's something about that star. It's just something about that. Like they have no clue. Like Jerry Jones has no clue now. And whatever good they do just doesn't work out for him because it's that star. I really believe that. I believe it's like that's how like he is as talented as anybody in the league. It's inexplicable that he totally falls apart. It just is, man. I feel like it's a star.
Sorry to interrupt, but I just want to drop a stat here for you. Tony Romo has a 96.1 career quarterback rating. The only two quarterbacks with a higher rating are Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. He has a higher career quarterback rating than Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, the rest of them.
That's crazy. Like that's how talented he is. It sucks, man. I feel horrible for the dude. I'm not gonna lie, but I do feel like you gotta put pressure on him now. Like, and I hate to say that. I said all that, but like we were saying in the other show, draft a quarterback. Even if you don't even think this quarterback will ever play a game for you, just draft one in the first round. Seriously, and just be like, hey, we got this guy. You know, that means you need to play better. We're not going to find a dude more talented than you. But he's a first rounder, so he's pretty good. You know what I mean? So you better get it done. Or if you don't do that this year, do it next year when somebody like Teddy Bridgewater is on the board. And like if he fucks up again. I mean, do it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about that later. But
yes,
do it then. I mean, that's just how I feel.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I agree with. I think someone said it, and I agreed when they said it on somewhere on. I watched it or something. I don't know. But what you said, as far as like draft a quarterback and let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do with the pressure. We saw Sanchez couldn't do anything with with the Tebow pressure. He didn't capitalize on that. So we'll see. I mean, I think Romo. I mean, I agree with Markeem 100% on the star stuff. Like, I think it's the star. Like, I don't know if Romo would be a Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, or that kind of quarterback, but I think he would be clear. Like, people would clearly talk about him in that mix.
His numbers are almost identical to Tom Brady's. They have almost the exact same quarterback rating.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, I'm saying that they would talk about. I mean,
I would agree.
Right. But I'm saying they would talk about him more. As far as he's on that level, that's another thing, another debate. But I do think Romo. I mean, I think he could succeed somewhere else, and I think that the pressure of there's just some extra why, and is it fair? I don't know, but it's just some extra pressure when you have that star on your helmet. I mean, it's just, there's something about it. That people want to claim America's team, whatever that crap is, but they still people want to claim. There's extra pressure when you're a Dallas Cowboy for some reason, and I think that's just.
I mean, Look at the Yankees, man. Look at when they got Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson was like still amazing. They pick him up, free agency, and he's terrible. He's inexplicably just all of a sudden he finally looks old. I mean, he was old for years, but then as soon as he gets to New York, he finally looks old. That's not a coincidence, man.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, I would agree. I know I kind of position that it's kind of time to cut him. They did have a lot of injuries. I really do agree, though. He does need, go in there and draft Barkley or draft Tyler Bray or draft Ryan Nassib or any of these other guys. Draft them. Landry Jones, whoever it may be. Tell Romo, hey, you're on the watch. This job isn't yours. And if you do this again, it won't be yours anymore. And I really do think if the Cowboys don't make the playoff next year, I think that's when you let go of him. Because I really do.
I agree. I think you have to at that point, yeah.
I mean, at some point, enough's enough. At some point, it's not like Matt Ryan, Matt Ryan at least gets you to the postseason. Romo can't get you to the postseason. In the postseason, anything can happen. But if you can never get there, you can never see the magic and, all the craziness that occurs. And I really do think that after that,
who knows? What if he gets there? What if he gets there and make a run? You don't even know because he can't even get there.
Well, and I think Markeem, you said this on a podcast or so ago. The Cowboys are so talented. If they get in that wild card spot, anything can happen at that point. So I mean, what would have happened had they won and Redskins aren't there? You just never know.
So, yeah, unfortunately. Like I said, draft a quarterback, put pressure, and if I don't care if it's not his fault or not, if this team does not go to the playoffs next year, I think you got to move on. I think at some point your fans are going to expect better. You as an organization have to do better, and you have to move on.
Get rid of everybody, too. Not just Romo, everybody. I think Jason Garrett should be going now. You see how Jerry Jones is acting like he's going to keep him? What kind of shit is that? No.
Yeah,
well, you saw. I mean, you would think Jerry Jones would learn from his lesson. He waited too long for Wade Phillips, and it bit him in the butt. Why is he waiting long on Jason Garrett now? I agree with that with Markeem on that. Why you've already shot yourself on the foot last time you did this. Why are you going to do it again?
Yeah, Rick Ryan, why are you doing it again?
Exactly. Don't even get me. Oh, when we talk about coaching firing, I'll get to that.
How about we get to that right now?
All right, let's do it.
Coaches firing.
Yeah.
So 7 coaches and 5 GMs got fired this week. Let me see if I remember them all off the top of my head. Andy Reid for the Eagles, Norv Turner from the Chargers, Chan Gailey for the Bills, Pat Schumer for the Browns. Hold on. No. I've read Lovie Smith for the Bears, obviously. I said Chan Gailey. Ken Wisenhunt for the Cardinals, and who's the 7th one? Fuck, I've gone over this like 10 times in my head.
The Browns? Did you name the Browns guy?
Yeah. Okay, Browns, Pat Schumer. Eagles, Andy Reid. Oh, Romeo Crennel. Chiefs, Romeo Crennel. Bills, Chan Gailey. Chargers, Norv Turner. Bears, Lovie Smith. And someone that I've already said. I've said them all at one point. At the end of the day, Chiefs, Eagles, Browns, Chargers, Bills, Bears, and who's the other one? Chiefs, Eagles.
Chiefs, Browns, Bills.
Chiefs, Eagles, Browns, Bears, Bills,
Chiefs.
Bills, and Chargers. Yes, okay. Chiefs, Eagles, Brown, Bear, Bills, Chargers, and Cardinals. Okay. So 7 teams fired their coaches. Notable coaches in the hot seat that we talked about. Actually, I think half the coaches that we said should have been fired, in fact, did not get fired when we did that segment a few weeks ago. Ron Rivera for the Panthers is still there. Rex Ryan.
But there's still some talks about.
That's still in the discussion. But someone made a good point. Someone made a good point that the Panthers was without question the best fit for Coach Chip Kelly. And if he went to the Browns, that has to mean that he got confirmation that Ron Rivera, if Ron Rivera is still alive by this point, I think he's coming back. But yeah, Ron Rivera for the Panthers, Rex Ryan for the Jets, Jason Garrett for the Cowboys. I think those are pretty much the teams that we talked about. So yeah, those guys made it, and those other 7 coaches got fired. Phil, start us off since you're hot. Any notable firings that you thought shouldn't have happened? Coaches that didn't get fired that should have been? Keep it going.
All right, first of all, I guess since we had just kind of mentioned this, I'll start here because I cannot believe, which I know they fired the GM, but still, how does Rex Ryan not get fired? I understand, like this doesn't make sense. Like to me, you know what my original reaction was? Thank you, Jets. Thank you. I was glad they didn't fire him. You know why? Because he's horrible. Like, I mean, as a Patriots fan, and I'm sure as a Dolphins fan, you want the Jets to suck. So,
fuck yes.
I mean. So I'm glad he's there, but that biasness aside, how do you not fire Rex Ryan here? Like he had a chance to save his job, essentially. A chance, and what I mean by a chance, he could have put Tebow in and seen what would have happened. Once Sanchez was clearly sucking early on, he didn't do that. And then I understand what he did at the end of the year, but
Phil, I want to comment on that because I'm actually about to pick up your boy real quick. If he would have took too long to let's say this. Let's say he did it week 11. Yeah, not week 11. Let's say he did it. I don't know.
Well, I was saying like week 5 when I said it, that's when he should have done
it. But I'm saying, well, let's say he waited just too long and they finally did it. He would have looked like a real idiot. He would have definitely got fired then. Like, he would have been gone now.
That's what I was saying. I don't agree with that. He should have done it like the last 2 weeks. That's just, it's too late by then. You do look like an idiot, especially if he wins the last 2 games. I'm talking about put him in when he was supposed to, like when you should have, like when your season was still up for grabs. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying put him in after it's already over. But yeah, Rex Ryan, I'm very, very sticking on that. I think he should have been fired. I think that's another team that clean house. It's time to regroup, and just firing your GM is not going to save anything. You might make a few more changes better, but no, you need. And obviously you got to quit wanting to be a circus. As much as I love Tim Tebow, that was clearly the only reason they got Tebow was to. There's no intentions of ever starting him. That's clear now.
Being the first Sports Center, being the back
right.
page
of the Jets wanted to be talked about clearly, so. That's the first thing that needs to be changed. Whoever's head of media relations or whatever that cares about that, just fire the whole department. But Rex Ryan. Moving on from, I'm not even going to talk anymore about him. Other coaches that did get fired, just because the Jets aren't even wasting my breath. But Lovie Smith, this one shocked me. Like I understand, like okay, the Bears, which. Big Rat, you can check this because I've been trying to look up
5 of the past 6 years. Is that what you're looking for?
No. I was gonna say you can check this for me because I've been looking for it all day and I haven't got a definite answer. But the Bears, would the Bears have made the playoffs had that?
Yeah, had
call not made.
Had the Vikings lost? Yeah,
the Fail Mary. Yeah. No, I'm talking about the Fail Mary.
Oh, the Seahawks thing.
Yeah. Would the Bears have made it over the Vikings?
No, because the Seahawks. Wait, the Fail Mary. You talk about the Seahawks Packers game, right?
Right. That's what they're good.
No.
Call it that.
I think because if the Seahawks had lost that game, they would have finished 10-6, and they had the tiebreaker over the Bears because they beat them in head-to-head competition.
No, the Seahawks. Yeah, the Seahawks would make the playoffs. But I'm talking about the Vikings.
What does it matter? Would the Vikings the Vikings would have still finished 10-6. What does it matter? They weren't in the Fail Mary game.
That wouldn't affect the Vikings at all.
I'm saying so the Vikings. That's right. The Vikings Bears are both at 10-6 right now. Okay, never mind. Okay,
yeah,
I got you.
If the Bears had beat,
I get what you meant, though, Phil.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is,
if the Bears had beat the Seahawks a few weeks ago, the Bears would have been in the playoffs.
What I'm saying is, all right. Get to mainly what my point was like Lovie Smith. I mean, okay, look, I understand it's all about the big game, and I understand being there so long. But I'm going to bring up another coach, and I know that there's different organizations, there's different things, a way of doing it. But when you got a guy like Marvin Lewis, who's been given chance after chance after chance, and the highest they've done is playoffs, maybe? I mean, have they even got a play? He hasn't had a playoff win.
No, he doesn't.
No.
So, and Marvin Lewis, I'm not Marvin Lewis. Lovie Smith went to a Super Bowl. So,
I agree.
I mean, yeah, lost to Peyton Manning and the Colts, but I mean, I think and also went to another NFC Championship game. So I think he's done enough to earn a little more respect to get, if the team went like 6-10, okay, fine, I understand they've changed, but it's kind of like the Andy Reid thing, like last year. It was like he deserves to get one more shot, and he didn't get it done, he got fired. Okay, well, Lovie Smith deserves to get another shot. I mean, this team wasn't even 8-8. This team would have made the playoffs, with like a one record change away from making the playoffs. The Vikings don't beat the Packers and the Bears are in. So it's just I think that was the one that really shocked me the most. Other than that, I think everyone else, I understood it was coming. Most of those firings make sense. There's some other ones that you probably could do, but I understand. Jaguars, give him another year. I understand. 1 year, guy can't get it done in 1 year. I understand that. Panthers, it's questionable. Whatever you want, how you feel about that, but. Like I said, the main firings, the one that shouldn't have got fired, Rex Ryan, and the one that I don't understand that got fired was Lovie Smith. And as far as Andy Reid, the Chiefs, we'll see what happens. I don't really know what will happen there. Maybe he can work on his Kevin Cobb project while he's there. But Kevin Cobb's not. Is he the Chief? No, he's in Arizona. Well, I said that. Just forget anything I just said. But anyways, but yeah, that's basically my thoughts. I don't think Andy Reid. I agree with Markeem. I don't think he's a good fit for the Chiefs. I thought he would be a better fit for Arizona. Actually, it's on Tinder. I think the Chiefs. Yeah, good luck with that, Andy. That's all I want to say.
Markeem.
Sherman should not have gotten fired. Have y'all seen Browns this year?
They look
that don't look like a team last year. It didn't.
No,
right.
That team had been playing a lot harder, a lot more focused, a lot more disciplined, and that was not fair. They are getting better. You suck. You're the Browns. You suck. You know what I mean? And what the idea is to improve, and he is improving. He is improving that team. I did not. The Lovie Smith thing, even I get, because it is Chicago. Chicago fans are very restless. You know what I mean? People been calling for Lovie's head for a while. A lot of people it seems like people act like this came out of nowhere. Nah, I've been calling for Lovie's head for a while.
That's true. That's true.
Would I have fired him? Probably not, because the dude went 10-6. You know what I mean? But I get that one. Because of Chicago, I get that. But the Sherman thing, that was just firing just to you're the fucking Browns. They did the same thing to Mangini. They did the same shit. You guys suck. You're like, come on. What do you expect?
It's kind of it was like a Raider move, like when the Raiders, the Raiders suck, but yet the coach makes improvements and you fire him. They just fire him. You didn't make the playoffs, you're fired.
That's bullshit. The idea is to get better. You're not gonna make the playoffs every year, especially if you're the Browns. And Phil, You're 100% right. Rex Ryan shouldn't even have made it through the season. I don't know how he's still there. Like, Ron Rivera, I think, should be gone too. But he's still there. But of all of them, though, Rex Ryan, like, without question, this dude is a phenomenal defensive mind. And one of the best ever, I would say. I would honestly say that. Seriously.
That's true.
He should not be the head coach. He is not a leader of men, and he is not good with the media at all. Do y'all know the talk of today right now? Rex Ryan's stupid fucking tattoo that he did on purpose. That he did so everyone can see it. That's what he cares about, yo. I love the fact he's a character. He's good for the game. Do I want him coaching my team? No. Come on, like, dude. What you did all year was pretty much have a group of fans that are very loyal, stupid, very loyal, and you pretty much put them through hell all year. The last thing they want to see on you is your wife wearing the Antichrist jersey. You know what I mean? Like, bro,
the Antichrist. Nice choice of words.
You ask any Jet fan, any longtime Jet fan, my boy Mr. Guns, y'all know him, y'all know Tommy. Yeah. My boy Mr. Guns, he always says, I don't care as long as Mark Sanchez is the quarterback. Like, we win, we lose, who gives a fuck? Like, Mark Sanchez is there, and it ain't like we gonna do shit. He says that all the time. And this is a diehard Jets fan. Like literally. Been a Jets fan since he was a kid. You know what I mean? Diehard Jets fan. It's scary. It's scary when you have the fan base literally not giving a fuck what happens. Because you have that fool, like, that's the fool you decided to stick with. And that's why it pissed me off at the end of the year when McElroy couldn't go, so he put back in Sanchez. You can't ever put that dude back out there again. You owe them fans to never have him out there playing again. Yeah. You owe that much to those people. You know, even if you're not gonna put in Tebow, go get a practice squad dude or somebody. Just don't put that dude under. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no. Like, he should be gone. He should be gone and should never be a head coach ever again at any level, even at the college level. He should always be a defensive coordinator for the rest of his life. Period. Even I do think he would be a great college coach, and I believe that everyone would want to play for Rex Ryan. But with that being said, he should never, ever be a head coach again, just for how disappointing and how just disrespectful to the game the Jets were this year. The Jets, I was offended with all that shit that was going on with the Jets all year. Not just the Tebow thing. I'm talking about everything. I was offended. Like, I felt bad for Mark Sanchez because they set that boy up to fail. I felt bad for the fan base because Rex Ryan, new management set him up to fail. Yeah, he still kept throwing him out there, and the boy kept failing week after week after week. It got me upset. The Jets, honestly, if we can have a vote like the wrestling ever does for the most disgusting promotional tactic in NFL, it would be the goddamn Jets. It's terrible. Just awful. I'm done. I don't even talk about this. So I'm done.
And so, one thing I want to add real quick. Some people are saying that tattoo thing might just be a hoax. Like, he just wanted to get.
No, but I've also heard that he's had that shit for a while.
That's bullshit, man.
What'd you say, Big Rat?
I've heard people say that it's. I've heard like legit sources
Ricky,
say.
What'd you say?
I've heard legit sources say it's real. Like, it's not just like a paint.
That's just a joke. That's crazy. That's just crazy. It just proves it proves the Jets don't care about football. That's what it proves. Because they keep this guy.
I hope he gets fired. Now you stuck with the rest of your life with your wife, who is sexy, by the way. You just seen that?
Yeah, she I saw that today. She does look
nice.
My
God, like, she ain't bad at all. She kind of old, dude. But with that being said, for as beautiful as your wife is, you permanently disgrace her by wearing one of the most failed projects in the history of the NFL on your body. Like, she'll always be in that jersey.
The Jets cut him. That would be hilarious. Cut or trade him. That'd be hilarious.
Can you move on?
I got something to say. I've always said for the longest time that the only two teams in the NFL that have it worse than the Miami Dolphins, because just not from a talent standpoint, obviously there were 11 teams that had a worse record than the Dolphins this year. And that's usually the case every year. But just from a prolonged period of misery and a prolonged period of lack of playoff appearance and lack of anything productive in the NFL. I mean, 7 losing seasons in 10 years for the Dolphins. I don't know if y'all knew that. 5 of the last 6. for just a constant prolonged of nothingness. The only two teams that have had it worse are the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns. And it's just very sad for me because I feel their pain, man. I feel their pain. It's very sad for me to see both of them have their coaches fired this year. Again, they both, I mean, Chan Gailey definitely deserved it. I mean, that dude, I don't know how he wasn't fired last year. Like, honestly, like, the Bills just, with a constant period of not reaching any sort of relevancy. And this was the year. If y'all remember, at the start of the season, there were people that said that this team would finish second in the East and would make the wild card round. And what happened? Fourth, as always. So
they were crazy too.
I mean, look at this guy's record as a Buffalo head coach: 4-12, 6-10, 6-10. My God, that's with 3 seasons, and that's with talent. It's something when you're it's something if you're the Browns, or if you're the who's another one? Cardinals, I guess, who don't have a quarterback. No, this is a talented team. They got a decent quarterback, in my opinion. I don't think he's bad. I think he's decent. They got one of the best running backs in the NFL, and they don't use him properly. Like,
give that man the ball.
Give that man the ball.
You signed Mario Williams in the offseason. You got Bird as a safety, who's one of the best in the NFL. They got talent. Like, you realize, by the way, Phil, here's a stat for you. C.J. Spiller, that's Markeem.
Yeah, I mean, get that man the ball. Yeah,
there we go.
Oh, you're waiting for it. Oh,
yes,
okay.
we said last week on the show that every single time I say his name, Markeem has to say it. So C.J. Spiller,
get that man the ball,
is 9th in the NFL in rushing, and he's 28th in rushing attempts. Think about that.
It's ridiculous.
9th in rushing, 28th in rushing attempts.
It's not hard. You don't have to throw much up to Ryan Fitzpatrick to turn his mediocre ass around and hand him the ball. That's all you got to do.
Johnny Football's.
Get the fuck out the way. So you probably would have.
I honestly, so Chan Gailey and Pat Schumer, I feel for you. Bills, Browns fans, I feel your pain. I feel your lack of playoff appearances too. Don't worry about it, guys. We'll get through this together. Except fuck you, the Bills. You're in the division. Fuck off. But Browns, I really like.
Schumer should not have been fired though.
He shouldn't have. He shouldn't have. I thought it was a genius move in the draft, getting Richardson and Brandon Weeden both in the first round. I legitimately thought that's one of the best rebuilding moves I've seen from a team in a long time. To go on a limb and take 2 high-power needs on offense immediately in the first round. And, Trent Richardson delivered. Brandon Weeden was okay. He wasn't bad. He wasn't at the level of the other rookies, but he was pretty solid. I think people are...
There were some games legit. Brandon Weeden looked like he'd been in the league for years.
Yeah.
I remember that, what was that game? That Ravens game, wasn't it? The one on that Thursday night on the NFL Network? They almost won?
Oh, my God, Johnny Football.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, the game's on. Oh, yeah. God, I'm missing it. I'm in the game.
Yeah, we're all watching.
He just made an awesome...
He just made like an awesome 20-yard run. Actually, it was more than 20 yards. Let's see. He starts at the 25, awesome. runs. Shit, it was like a 35-yard run. All right. Anyways, as we'll try to continue to get back here, I was kind of sad with, I feel for Browns fans, but at the end of the day, coaches deserve what they deserve. So, no shame there. All the other firings I kind of agree with. I thought Rex should have been fired. Jason Garrett, I lean more towards Jason Garrett than Rivera. Ron Rivera, at the end of the day, I do think with him, the Panthers aren't going to go anywhere. But, at the end of the day, my dad put it to me like this, and he makes a good point. They went from 1-15 to 6-10 to 7-9. Their record has progressively gotten better since he's been there. And, you can't take that away from him.
Yeah, that's true.
Another thing I wanted to add about with the Browns coach and stuff, it's like you draft pieces. It's like these first-year coaches draft pieces, and then it's like those pieces now have to deal with a whole new coach the very next year. It's just, and a lot of times the coaches don't like those pieces. They'll redraft again. It's like doesn't help the team. It just doesn't help them.
Next we got the Rookie of the Year. Phil, you want to throw your hat into the ring about this? Luck, Wilson, RG3. We've spoken to Nazir about them. Go ahead, Phil. Your thoughts.
Okay, it's just a couple things I want to say. I don't know if he talked about it on the first take, but I did read an article that Skip wrote. I do not agree. Let me just go ahead and say that right now. I do not agree with what he said, but I see his point, and I'll kind of give you a little bit of highlights about what he said. I think they're just some things to think about. Let's just put it that way. With the talks between Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson, and RG3. A couple of things he was talking about. I think he's saying that. Obviously the stats get brought up. Obviously, that's going to always be brought up. I don't think that's a huge factor there. But, in this race, anyways. Also, you have that. His whole thing about it is that the Colts really haven't beaten anybody outside of I think the Packers. I think was their own.
Packers and
they
Texas.
have three. They have. I looked at.
They beat the Packers in Texas.
Yeah, in Texas, week 17, right? They beat somebody else. There was one of the Vikings, three playoff teams.
And sorry to cut you off.
RG3 and the Redskins.
Well, sorry to cut you off, but just to anybody that says that the Broncos and Colts haven't played anybody, they're both 2-3 against the current teams in the playoffs, and the Patriots are also 2-3, and the Ravens are also 2-3. So shut the fuck up. Anyways, keep going.
So pretty much everybody's having the same
everyone
problem,
has the same fucking record against playoff teams. I don't understand this logic that all of a sudden Broncos and Colts haven't played anybody when they have the same record against the teams in the current playoffs that the Patriots and Ravens do. Anyways, keep going.
Well, that's a good point. I agree. I mean, yeah. But yeah, but I don't know. I lost my train of thought. I get it. But yeah, like I said, okay. So what I was gonna say was the Redskins and RG3 have since in the games that he was playing in, he's only missed one, but they've got 3 wins against playoff teams, and the Seahawks actually have 4, questionable 4, but they've got 4. And actually, I think they were close to a 5th one. I think when I was looking at it, I don't have it up on me right now, but anyways. So I mean, I think my thing is I think Russell Wilson is the thing that I really, and I know I didn't really explain the article very well. Just go read it. I'm going in a different direction now. But I think Russell Wilson doesn't get enough credit. This is what I kind of after looking at it and looking at all 3 of them and just kind of comparing all 3. You have RG3 and Andrew Luck who, let's face it, they were both expected to do something. Now with the teams, yes, was Andrew Luck expected to take the Colts to the playoffs? I would say the most consensus was no. RG3 Redskins to the playoffs, that might be not as much of a consensus, but probably most people still said no. They probably had, most people that I know had Redskins last in the division. So they're still, regardless of being, 2 top prospects, they, both teams weren't expected to go to the playoffs. Both teams are going. But the same thing with Russell Wilson. Was Russell Wilson a top prospect? No. I mean, no one even thought, I was trying to look it up, but where Russell Wilson was drafted.
I can tell you, coming into the draft, he was the 5th projected quarterback.
5th.
It was Andrew Luck. Hold on, I can tell you. It was Andrew Luck, RG3, Ryan Tannehill,
Brandon Weeden,
and then him.
Okay, so he was 5th. And I think that's something that has to be brought up. I mean, Russell Wilson, do I give the reward to Russell Wilson out of those 3? No, I don't. But at the same sense, I think you have to look at the fact that, of what he's done.
Let me correct myself.
Okay.
On some boards, you saw Kirk Cousins ahead of him.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins, right.
Yeah.
And Manziel does it. Touchdown, Texas A&M, as I look over to the left.
God damn it.
Oh, that man's a beast. Anyways.
Johnny fucking football.
One quick point. I watched most of that drive right there. He just burned Oklahoma. It was ridiculous. But anyways, back to RG3, Luck, and Wilson. I just think Wilson. I think it's a lot of people are talking. RG3 versus Luck. Blah 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 blah. And they're kind of putting Wilson automatically 3rd. I just think he give the man a little bit more of his respect. I mean, and his stats aren't horrible. They're not crazy great or anything, but they're good for a rookie. And I think he beat. I think he had a Peyton Manning. He beat Peyton Manning touchdown record, right? Which I know that's based on that one play. That play gives him the record, I think, right? I think I saw that somewhere.
Yep.
Because he had it by 1 touchdown, but as much as we talk about that situation, but like I said, and I'm probably not explaining myself. I feel like I'm not explaining myself very well, but I think I think the case for Russell Wilson can be made. I think the case that Skip made against Andrew Luck is I don't agree with it. I don't think that it's totally true, but you can make some of the points he made. You can make is my point is about that. No, one thing I did want to say. one thing I wanted to say about Andrew Luck, and this is not. Please, before I say this is not a lock because I have Luck as the rookie of the year. Just go and throw that out there. But one point is we've seen teams go from, not go from first pick to a playoff team, but we have seen teams make improvement. Dolphins did it. Is one thing I can remember, and Big Rat can tell me if there was big changes because I can't remember that there was a whole of very many big changes in that team.
Chad Pennington.
Well, Chad Pennington. Okay, that was a big change.
Folks, to those who don't know, the most accurate quarterback in the history of the NFL. Look it up. The most accurate quarterback in the history of the NFL is Chad Pennington.
Yeah, that is true. Also
the most accurate, fragile. But anyways, so I mean, I think what I'm saying, I guess my point is about that is don't try to put. You got to put focus on the fact that he turned a team from a 2-14 team to a playoff contender, but also that don't act like that doesn't happen. Is what I'm saying. It's rare. It is rare. And I'm not.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm discrediting it, but I'm not. I'm not trying to discredit it. I'm just saying that you can look at that too as the fact that.
Well, Phil, I'll say this. I see what you're saying, but I'll say this. It has never happened with a rookie quarterback.
That you know what? Right. Good point. That is a good point, Markeem. It hasn't happened with a rookie, and I think that's the big deal. The point, and there is one other thing that I want to say about Rookie of the Year and I'll be guilty of it. I think both of you guys. Well, I won't say both of you guys are guilty of it necessarily, but I know I am. The fact that Alfred Morris isn't even mentioned in this. Yes, is he going to win?
Is bullshit. Is bullshit.
But no one talks about this guy.
And Doug Martin either.
Well, Big Red has. But
I've been pipping that Alfred Morris train since like week 7.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, I can't stand that he's not considered. This man was what, second
second rushing yards, second behind Adrian Peterson.
Yeah. Right behind Adrian Peterson.
I guess we need to talk about 9 yards too.
We will.
But yeah, I just think. I mean, that's just one other point I want to make. That I think Alfred Morris needs to get some talks. Like, come on, man. Like, I mean,
I will say this. That game, RG3 was very hurt. It was very obvious. The dude completed 9 passes. 9. And for those that say...
And nobody's talking about Alfred Morris having 200 yards that game. Bugging me a little bit.
Everyone
y'all know RG3 is my boy, but that's even bugging me. So.
Like RG3 attempted 18 passes. And for everyone that says, oh, he was hurt, his normal average is 20. Look it up. He attempted 18. So, if anything, he was hurt. If he was really that hurt, they would ask him to throw more than to run more than he did. But
and that's another thing too. I think I know Big Rat for sure has brought this up before, and I might have too as well. But like I looked at this, like I didn't realize it was this crazy. But when you compare how much Andrew Luck has thrown versus Russell Wilson and RG3, it's ridiculous. Andrew Luck has thrown 620 something passes, I believe. Yeah. And they've thrown like 390. That's just based off my memory.
I think it's like 7th most all time. That number. It's like 7th most.
And
all
I
time.
thought this was what shocked me. And this is not really talking about the comparison of the quarterbacks necessarily, but I thought that would be leading the league. That was only best. That's best. That was for like 7th best in the league. Number one is like Matthew Stafford with 700.
Matthew Stafford has the record of all time for most passes.
I think Brady was 3rd.
Brady was 4th. I have it right in front of me. It's Stafford, Breeze, Romo, Brady, then Luck.
Right. So I mean, that's just crazy to think.
Yeah, it's a passing error.
And they work in 2 different. I mean, granted, they all 3. Well, not all 3, but they RG3 and Russell Wilson. You could probably say work in about the same system.
Not just
but they work in fully different systems. Andrew Luck is made to throw the ball a lot more, and he doesn't have a Marshawn Lynch or for Morris either. So that's a good point for Luck as well.
This is my problem. Let me read you guys some numbers when it comes to RG3 and Wilson, okay? Because I think they both are very, very similar. I mean, they're both their coaches are very smart, and both of their coaches realize that their quarterbacks can't be throwing 60 times a game like the top quarterbacks in this league, and they gimmick them a certain way. Let me tell you this. RG3 has 393 passing attempts. Russell Wilson has, wait for it, 393. And granted, RG3 missed a game.
Wow.
But still, yes.
They're both tied. I noticed.
They're 25th in the NFL in passing attempts. 25th. There are 25 teams with quarterbacks that throw more than these two. RG3's completion percentage, 65.6. Russell Wilson's, 64.1. RG3's yards, 3,200. Russell Wilson's, 3,120. RG3 yards per average, 8.1. Russell Wilson's, 7.9. RG3's touchdowns to interception ratio, 20-5. Russell Wilson's, 26-10. Like, it's ridiculous. RG3's quarterback rating, 102.4. Tied for the 102.4, the third best in the NFL. Russell Wilson's quarterback rating, 100.0, the fourth best in the NFL. These motherfuckers are on the exact same team.
I do have. Sorry.
Oh, and also Alfred Morris, second in the NFL in rushing. Marshawn Lynch, third in the NFL in rushing.
Vic Ballard, where's he at?
Vic Ballard, 22nd in the. Vic Ballard had 800 yards. Wow, I didn't even know that. But yeah, this is insane. They are on the fucking same team. They have the fucking same exact numbers. That's why I think if you're going to give Rookie of the Year to RG3 or Wilson, in my opinion, you give it to Wilson because Wilson's impact is the difference between a playoff team and a Super Bowl contender. RG3's impact is the difference between 8-8 and the playoffs. And their numbers are almost fucking identical. That's why Wilson, in my opinion, gets the edge because he's created a Super Bowl team with his performance and RG3 has not. Is it lucky? Is it unfair? Yes. And Wilson also broke the rookie touchdown record to go along with it. If you have to give it to one of those two, you give it to Wilson. I have Luck, Wilson, RG3 in that order. That's why if RG3 wins it, it'll fucking infuriate me.
But what I was to say with that too, I mean, with the Wilson versus RG3, argument, I think that, I think me and you kind of got in a little, not an argument, but we went back and forth about this a little bit. But not many people had the Seahawks going to the playoffs. I mean,
yeah,
very few.
I will say, me and my friend.
I know you mentioned that they had a chance.
Me and my friend at the start of the season when we did our brackets. Sorry, that is my phone. I had them going to the playoffs.
What's up with this Scooby-Doo music?
It's sci-fi. It's sci-fi music. But yeah, and by the way, I know ESPN and Skip and Stephen A. They love to pimp RG3. I was on NFL.com a few days ago, reading a 10 expert panels on the subject. 7 of the 10 writers gave it to Andrew Luck, and the other 3 gave it to Russell Wilson. Not one gave it to RG3.
And here's the thing I was going to ask earlier. I don't know the answer to this. I probably should, I guess. But when is the Rookie of the Year determined?
It's at the same time as the MVP and all this other shit. It's determined right before the Super Bowl.
Like during the playoffs, like you.
Yeah, but it doesn't take into account the playoffs. It doesn't take. Into
I was about to say,
because
that could be huge.
No, it doesn't. It only takes into account the regular season.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad that's the case because I wasn't sure if they did that or not.
Yeah, because in the playoffs at that point, I mean, it's who has the better team. It's not who's the better quarterback.
Right.
But yeah, I think, like I said, ESPN, just because they pimp out, I mean, John Clayton said Andrew Luck is the best rookie quarterback ever. And he's one of the most respected men on the topic. Ron Jaworski said...
I would say he's the most respected NFL insider, period.
Yes.
Not even close.
John Clayton.
John Clayton? Yeah. Adam Scheffler probably short.
That weird-looking guy.
You see that commercial? That commercial is great.
So I think it's not a popularity contest. I think when they give out this award, they will actually look into the science and the merits of all 3. And I think they'll give it to Luck or they'll give it to Wilson. I'm actually kind of confident that they won't give it to RG3 because I just don't know how they can.
I don't know.
I know that ESPN loves RG3 and they pimp him out, but ESPN does not give out this award.
Be right back. Y'all keep talking.
All right, so next we move on to Lane Kiffin while Markeem is gone. Well, Markeem, do you have anything to say on Lane Kiffin before we move on?
That's not even right.
Okay, anyways. But yes, I think Alfred Morris does deserve talk. Hell, but I will say this: more people have been mentioned. Like Merrill Hodge tweeted it, and a lot of people have been recently saying that. Oh man, I love RG3, but Alfred Morris. We talked about Lane Kiffin.
What? No.
Yeah. Too late. Sorry.
He asked you what your thoughts were, and you didn't answer, so we moved on. We're kidding, Markeem. Markeem, go ahead and go on.
Well, we're not kidding. That actually happened, but we're not going to actually move on. But Merrill Hodge tweeted this week that that Alfred Morris was the cornerstone of the Redskins offense and not RG3. And I've been saying that since the Giants game, but, it's nice to know that everyone else is now seeing things my way when it comes to Alfred Morris. Y'all realize that when it comes to things I hate, and when it comes to people who I think get too much credit, I really research and look into it and and give you results before everyone else does. More so than teams I like. For the teams I hate and for the people that I think are overrated, I will look into why they're overrated instead of the teams I like and rooting to why they are underrated. Maybe that's a mental disorder.
Thank you, non-Skip Bayless. We appreciate that.
But
he gets on my nerves with that shit.
Next we'll get into Markeem, just Lane Kiffin. Just go.
Y'all know I picked Georgia Tech, and a lot of people call me crazy. Come on, man, they're nowhere near as talented as USC. There's a reason I did that.
Georgia Tech don't got
Lane. This moment right now. When I found out Matt Barkley wasn't playing, I felt even more confident about his team.
Oh, Barkley didn't play in that game?
Nah, he hurt himself 2 weeks before during practice because he was ready to go after the Notre Dame game. He was ready to go. He hurt himself again in practice and said, "Fuck it, I'm getting ready for the draft. I'm about to leave here."
I'm about to say he did that on purpose. He did that on purpose. He don't want to play for Lane.
What he hurt him? I wouldn't be surprised. But that kid, Jason Whitty, I think that's his name. Talented kid, yo. Boy has an arm, but he's still a boy. Okay, he is still a boy. Silas Red and the other dude, I always forget his name. They were averaging over 5 yards per carry. They should have touched the ball 20 times. This kid shouldn't have had to try and win the game by himself. What does Lane Kiffin do? He is a kid who only started one game his whole life, in Notre Dame game. A game that was very physical. They didn't have the ball much. He really didn't have to throw much anymore. But you ask this kid to throw 30-plus passes. What? What's the first rule of football? You throw someone in there that is in an uncomfortable position. What do you not do? You do not ask them to do more than they. We were just talking about RG3 and Russell Wilson, were we not?
Right.
What does Lane Kiffin do? Hey, kid, go out there and win us the game. And they lose by 14 to a team that is clearly inferior to them. Shouldn't even have been involved in the bowl season. I thought this game would be close. I thought this would be a hotly contested game. Georgia Tech dominated them from the opening gun to the end. Lane Kiffin has got to go now. This was the number one team in the country. Georgia Tech coming into this season was preseason third worst team in the ACC, third worst team in the second worst conference in the country. Wow. And they just dominated the preseason number one team by 14 points. And honestly, it should have been worse than that. I'm happy for Paul Johnson. Finally got a bowl win. Took him 7 years to do it. Props to the dude. He deserves it because he's very innovative. You'll see his offense in the NFL soon. A lot of people were copying it around college football. Kelly's offense, for as much credit as it gets, it's kind of an extension of that one. Except this time he runs a little bit more passive plays and things like that. But it's pretty much Paul Johnson's offense. But it's ridiculous. Why would you ask this kid is talented too? And I felt so shitty for him because he threw a late pick and he just went over and he was crying. He was all upset. And I'm like, dude, it's not your fault. It's that coach of yours asked you to do this. Look, man, Mark Kiffin was sitting in the booth because he's leaving. This was his last game at USC. And he was sitting up there in the box and he didn't give a fuck. He was sitting up there literally like he didn't care. He was like, I'm about to leave anyway. When something would happen on the field, like when somebody would throw a pick or the defense would fuck up and give up a long run, he was sitting up there smiling because he knew he wasn't going to be involved with the shitstorm that's coming next year. They need to just go ahead and avoid all that, especially with all these social changes going on. And you had all these guys wanting to come to bigger programs and shit. Y'all really believe that Gary Anderson from fucking Utah State wouldn't have came to USC? Y'all believe that Charlie Strong, even though he didn't leave Louisville, and I'll talk about that in a second, even though he didn't leave Louisville, props to him for that, you really think he wouldn't have came to USC? Come on, man. This was the year. This is, especially with these NFL coaches getting fired. Like, think about it. You think USC threw Andy Reid enough money, you really believe he wouldn't come to USC?
Right.
No,
this was the year to do it. What you saying?
No, I agree.
What you saying again?
No, just that.
Yeah,
just that.
Yeah, this was the year. This was the year to get rid of that fool. They didn't. And now they're going to wait till next year, and they're going to get someone that is not worthy of the job. Fuck Lane Kiffin. Fuck USC. I'm just glad Matt Barkley was out of there. Marquise leave next year. Just leave. Ain't no need to stay for this season. After next season, just leave. I don't care if you get hurt. Just go. Save yourself the embarrassment. Just get up out of there, because they will be in the position, the way this university thinks, they will be in the position they were in before fucking Pete Carroll got there, and they were the last stack of college football all throughout the 90s. That's what's about to happen again. I'm done with them. I won't hear me say another word about USC or Lane Kiffin until he gets fired.
I was going to ask you,
I'm done.
Is there any talks at all of him being fired at all?
No. Next
Wow.
year, they said next year they're sticking with Lane Kiffin. If he does the same shit, which he will, that he did this year, I don't see how they keep him. If they do, then they really don't have a clue. Hey, look. I like Bill O'Brien. I do, and I'm glad they announced he finally announced today that he's not leaving Penn State. He said, and another thing that a lot of people ain't talking about, he said he intends to play out the rest of his contract. He's staying with Penn State for the rest of his contract. He will honor his contract. And I respect a lot of him doing that.
Something's kind of fishy on that, though, because he was taking interviews, and then all of a sudden, like, it's like Penn State threw something at him or something. Because, like, what'd you say?
I said they probably threw a whore at him.
They threw something at him because it changed fast. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it did seem like...
Yeah, it did seem a little weird.
Yeah, okay. Make sure I was the only one.
But do you really think if they fired Lane Kiffin and it was like, hey, Bill O'Brien, we'll give you $4 million a year to come here and coach?
You'd be like, peace.
You know what I mean? They said, come on, man. There's only two people I can see, three people that I can see not taking that job. Nick Saban, Brian Kelly, Urban Meyer. That's it. Anyone else would jump at that job. You're in California, the second best recruiting state in the nation. Yes, Florida is the best. California is the second best. You're in the heart of California at the university. And you're getting paid top dollar to be there. Who wouldn't take that job? But Lane Kiffin is the coach of USC. Let's move on.
Anyways, now we go to the bowl season in review. A lot of people have been saying that this has been a very disappointing bowl season, that a lot of the games are kind of blowouts. Nothing's really, aside from the Nevada-Arizona game, the LSU-Clemson game.
What the hell are you talking? Who said
I was about to say, screw them. I saw back-to-back awesome games.
They said the majority of the bowl games weren't that enthralling, but I'll let you guys run away with this one anyways. Markeem, how has this bowl season been compared to years past?
Compared to years past, I'm not going to say it's one of the best, because I don't think anything will ever top 2002. My God, that year. That year, I was like literally on the couch, just like done. I was like done with life. I couldn't move. 2002 was the best bowl season of all time. I don't care what anyone says. It was just, like, maybe not the BCS games, but the low tier games, amazing. But yeah, this year's been pretty damn good and pretty damn unpredictable. Like, what am I, like, sitting at 21 right now, which is respectable, but I thought I'd be doing better than that. I mean, you know, I don't understand what people were talking about. The Michigan, South Carolina game, very unpredictable, very enthralling. You know, South Carolina played horribly. But with that being said, very, very unpredictable. Yeah, I mean, very enthralling. The Georgia game was a lot of fun until that last quarter. Duke and Cincinnati was incredible. Nevada and Arizona was incredible.
Clemson LSU was good.
Clemson LSU was incredible. What's another one?
Stanford, Wisconsin.
Stanford, Wisconsin. Well, that was an old school game. A lot of people probably didn't like it. It was like, a lot of
Louisville. Louisville, Florida was a lot of fun for me because I got to see a Gator massacre. But
look at that though. Not entertaining.
I mean, it was entertaining. It was entertaining, but I wouldn't say. I mean, it wasn't contentious. I mean, to your average Joe sports fan, I mean, do you think that was really like one of the better games he's seen in the past year?
No. But what I'm saying, I'm talking about the bowl season in general.
In general,
there's been a lot of just like entertaining and shocking things, and what are people like? See, these are the people I'm talking about. Y'all wonder why I get mad. These are the people. Y'all being two people that before y'all both said right before me, y'all wouldn't care about half of these games. Just by watching these games, paying more attention. Do y'all think this has been uninteresting and most of these games have been blowouts and all this shit that he says people are saying?
I'd say no. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, if you had asked me before the year if I would care who Gamecocks played, who was in the bowl game, and if I would have watched it, I would watch it. But if you had asked me if I had cared as much, that game was awesome. Like, I hate Clemson. I love that game. Like, that game was even on. I was watching it with a bunch of Clemson fans. But
I saw, maybe it's my experience, I saw 6 games. I saw the Nevada game, which was awesome. I saw the Florida-Louisville game, which, again, was fun for me, but I didn't think the game was very, wasn't really dramatic. I was just kind of watching. I was just kind of laughing at Florida's ineptitude to score.
Yeah, it was a blowout. That was a blowout.
I attended.
In that Northern Illinois disgrace.
I attended that game live.
No. Time out. They played well.
Until the fourth quarter. And they got screwed by a bullshit call that gave FSU a touchdown. But I was at that game live, and that game was close. The game was 17-10 at the start of the fourth quarter. But even though it was close, I didn't think it was particularly enthralling. I mean, it was kind of slow. Jordan Lynch wasn't playing very well at all.
I couldn't get into that game. I tried to watch. I couldn't get into it.
It would have took some. Like, they would have got physically dominated no matter what. They would have just. They should have played the game like Boise played Oklahoma back in 2007. They should have approached that game like they did. Just do crazy shit. That's what would have worked.
Oh, dude, you can catch that. What? Holy shit.
But my point is that has this been a boring bowl season?
No, it definitely hasn't.
No. But I'm not trying to say this wrong. My other games. I saw the second half of Georgia USC, which, was just, again, blowout. I saw the entire Virginia Tech Rutgers game.
Oh, that game was terrible.
Was not fun at all. And I saw, what was the other? Oh, and I saw the entire West Virginia Syracuse game, which was another blowout.
Well, that was the elements though. But at least once a day though. Well, at least once, most times twice a day, you have a game of your contender.
All right. Fine. I'm really saying the games I saw, I wasn't too enthralled with. And my friend Ben doesn't think this has been that great of a bowl season. I mean, of all the BCS games, I mean, none of them. I would say none. The Northern Illinois game, the Louisville game, the Wisconsin game, the Oregon game yesterday, which was another blowout. Like, none of the six games, 4 of them so far have not been very good.
That's why I said. Do I consider it one of the best ever? No, but to call it boring is just ridiculous.
I wouldn't call it boring. But like this game right now,
those are the people. Those are the people I get upset about. These are the motherfuckers that don't actually watch the sport. They echo what they hear the media say.
But even you must agree, the BCS portion of this bowl season has been disappointing.
I mean, I didn't expect much anyway. Didn't I say in the preview?
Yeah,
okay. Fair.
Markeem, I have a question.
Disappointed.
I have a question, Markeem.
Yeah.
Something I kind of found a little. I mean, maybe it's just, and I know they obviously probably have always done this, but why do they have some like two big games on at the same time?
Just got no choice.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense, but I kind of wanted to watch the Nebraska-Georgia game and didn't get to because the Carolina-Michigan game was on at the same time. So
Schedule, man, you got no choice.
that makes sense. I mean, I guess you can't. You only have so much.
But before we move on to playoffs, Markeem, why don't you talk about how Jadeveon Clowney is the best player in college football because of that hit and he had an amazing game?
Oh my God,
that hit was awesome.
Like y'all know I've been hyping this kid up since he was like in junior in high school. You know what I mean? I said all year this dude was amazing. Now everyone, this is the best player in college football because they saw this one hit.
Because they saw one hit.
That was his worst game all year.
Hey, Markeem, you can vouch for me as a Gamecock fan. I said that game in Tennessee game, he was actually held. If you actually watched the game, he was held. He was controlled for the majority of the game, both those games. But the inning result is what everybody looks at because the Tennessee game, he did the same thing. He got a huge sack and then the game.
He's clutch, man. He come up when it's money time.
I think the Michigan game was because of that ridiculous, the second worst call of the year that I've ever seen. It would be the worst if we hadn't had that Fail Mary crap. Where it's clearly a first down. Clearly not a first down, and the guy looks at it. I've never seen a coach act. Steve Spurrier had me cracking up. Like, I was mad at the same time. Like, I was watching with my uncle and my cousin, and we were just going nuts. Like, are you kidding me? Then they had time to review it, and they still called it a first down. I was like, this guy. That was just ridiculous. And then Clowney's like, you know what? I'll take care of this. We'll end this now. Hits crazy awesome hit. Rocked the living room. I was watching it in for that much. And then just grabs the ball and says, give me that thing. Like, it was just, it was awesome. But for those that didn't watch the game, I mean, like I said, you're watching it. I mean, Clowney's a beast, and Markeem will vouch for that. And I think next year is going to – I mean, this guy's a sophomore. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome next year. I kind of hate the fact that Patriots will never be a top 5 pick to get him. But
they can trade for him, man.
They can trade for him. Man, if we could somehow get a trade and that team ends up being that would be awesome. But anyways, as far as that game, dude, though, that game should not have been that close. We were just, like Markeem said, we were not playing good.
Do you know Clowney's final stat line for that game?
I think, and he got player of the game, too. I thought was kind of, which, I guess I understand it, but I think player of the game should have went to Ace Sanders, who freaking had 3 touchdowns, one with the return that's like an awesome return. If you haven't seen that, you need to see that play, too.
And the worst defense I've ever seen on a pass, I laughed for about 10 minutes after that. I could not believe he was that open.
Oh, he was wild.
Oh my God!
And that's another thing too. The whole Connor Shaw, Dylan Thompson, like Connor Shaw kept running when he shouldn't have run, and I was like, put Dylan Thompson in. An arm is going to beat this team. An arm will destroy this team.
Thompson outplayed him.
Yeah, Dylan Thompson has an arm. I was like, keep Connor Shaw off the field. Like he's going to keep running, and when Connor runs, he busted out that really really good run in the game. A little far. I don't know how many yards it was, but it was a big run. And I like when he does that, but I just can't stand when it's like when he automatically just bails and decides to run sometimes, and it just doesn't work out. Like Dylan Thompson has an arm.
I think Thompson's a better player. Anyway.
I think so too, and I wanted Dylan in after for a while. I think Dylan was picking apart the defense every time he was in. I mean,
yeah, he actually looked and see if more than one person is open, and he'll just run. He pulls the Michael Vick shit. That's a kind of Shaw does.
Connor's like, one guy, if he's not open, he runs, and it's like it gets annoying after a while. Like,
all right,
what's Big Rat laughing at?
Biggest.
But kid, I wasn't finished.
I can't tell.
But a lot of people don't know Clowney only had 4 tackles that game.
Yeah, 4 tackles and one fumble.
And that first fumble. And he only had 2 flaws. And people were like, oh, that was the most dominant performance that I've seen. Really? You must have seen the Clemson game.
Yeah, they missed the Clemson game.
Or the LSU game. Or the Georgia game.
Markeem, just say it.
Wow.
Markeem, these people...
Oh, yeah, they don't watch college football.
They just don't watch college football, or do they really? They really not watch college football.
Yeah, they really don't watch college football. Really.
All right, there we go.
But I want to say like it was just like watching. I want to say something as far as like since it's almost the end of the year type thing for as far as coaches. I mean, as far as coaches, I just was reading something. It's all coaches. As far as the bowl games and stuff, I want to say like I thank Markeem for like getting me really more pumped up. Like college football is amazing. And it's like, which I've always thought that. I mean, I've always liked it. I've always preferred the NFL, but I mean, I like I've really enjoyed getting more involved this year, and I'm hoping that it continues.
Same. My
And
relationship.
I'm be real with you. This is one of the down seasons, I would say. Like, period. Like, don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed this season, but like the past, well, minus last year was pretty boring too. But minus last year, I would say before that, like we were on like a 10-year stretch of just amazing season after amazing season. This is like one of the weaker ones. Like, to be honest with you, so.
Thank you
Last
very
year was boring as hell, though. I could not argue for college football last year. Y'all won that last year.
Yeah, I think that's what really killed it for me was last year.
That NFL last year was pretty great too, so
Already.
you got kind of fucked. Anyways, let's move on to our biggest disappointment, surprises.
I give you that. Last year was amazing.
Biggest disappointment and surprises in both the bowl season, college football, NFL in general. Markeem, start us off. Of football in 2012.
Biggest disappointments right now?
Biggest disappointment. Go.
Biggest disappointments right now?
Yes, football and
right,
college and pro.
My biggest disappointment. Oh, what did you say, kid?
I said college and pro.
Okay, all right. One for each?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Your top. If your top is tied, then fine.
Biggest disappointment. What's that?
If your top choice, if that's two things, if your top choice is two things, then it's two things. But whatever your top disappointment is in both, go.
Okay, all right. My biggest disappointment in everything, period, is obviously the USC Trojans. If y'all have not been listening to this, I hate doing this, but I'm gonna do it again. Hands down, coming in this season, the best college quarterback, period. A lot of people said if he would have came out last year, he would have been second QB taken over RG3. A lot of people thought that. Man. And now his whole draft stock is just done. One of the best receivers in the game, Robert Woods. The best player in college football this year, Marquise Lee. Defense where they have at least three guys that will be playing on Sundays. An offensive line with center will go in the second round. One of the most talented teams in the country, and they finished 7-6. I don't see how it can be more disappointing than that.
Lost. And I wanted to add this real quick, Markeem. Sorry. And lost to the only team with a losing record in the bowls.
Exactly. There you go.
I saw that somewhere. I hadn't pointed that.
They were 6-7. They wouldn't even have been there.
Right, because of all the aggregate.
Because of UM.
North Carolina and Miami stuff. Yeah.
They were third place.
They are the most disappointing period. I got another one to talk about real quick, too. What was that?
I said they were third place in the fucking standings in our division.
Yeah, third place.
Continue?
Yeah, but the other one I wanted to talk about was Geno Smith from a few days ago.
Yeah.
This is your game. You're going against Nassib. What's his name is? Nassib, the guy from Syracuse. A lot of people saying, Ryan Nassib. A lot of people saying he's a first-round draft pick, too. You're going against him. I know it was snowing. I'm cutting the slack because it was snowing, but it was also snowing for Nassib, too. He played a good game. Dude, that was your chance to prove everybody wrong that says you cannot play at the next level. And I'll tell y'all what Geno Smith's biggest problem is, real quick. It's not his accuracy. It's not even his arm. It is his ability to check down every receiver he has. Right? He does not do a good job of finding the open man. A lot of times he just relies on his incredibly accurate arm because it is incredibly accurate. He puts it right on the money. But his problem is he doesn't see if his guy is actually up there. I mean, so a lot of times where you would see most quarterbacks throw interceptions. That's why the interceptions numbers are so low, because he's so accurate, but he doesn't always throw to the best target. I mean, so that's gonna kill him in the NFL. He's gonna have to fix that. Everything else the boy can do. I just think he needs to work on that. He needs to check everybody. But if he does that, he can play. But that's more of a habit thing, though. That's why I think anyone that drafts him, it will be, it will be a hell of an experiment because you're gonna have to deal with him not being very good for a couple of years. So if you get past that, then he'll pay dividends for you. He needs to be with someone that's gonna be patient with him, But yeah, he disappointed the hell out of me. Like he not only that, but he had like a sports center highlight reel blooper and that intentional grounding call in the end zone. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
I don't think I saw that. No.
I saw the whole game.
Yeah, that was awful. Like he was dancing around the end zone and he threw obviously to no one, but he got tripped up, which also happened. But but still, it just looked horrible. But he disappointed me, man. He really disappointed me. And as far as the NFL,
whoa, hold on. Side note. I sorry to interrupt. I think Geno Smith.
I know.
All right, we get it. Jeez.
Geno Smith was disappointing, but I think his performance is being a little overblown. At the end of the day, he had a 67% passing rate, 200-something yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And a fumble that wasn't his fault. And yes, the 2 safeties. But in reality, I mean, he didn't throw any picks. His accuracy was fine. I'm not saying he had a good game. He didn't. He had a bad...
that was the first secondary he saw years ago.
Okay, fair point. My point.
They're terrible. That's not so bad.
My point merely is that people were acting like he fucking completely shit the bed and threw 4 picks. Statistically, he had a fine game. He didn't do much wrong. If he was playing against a bad secondary and he should have done better, that's one thing. But his actual statistical performance was not awful.
I guess, man. I feel you. I see what you're saying. But this was the worst secondary he saw all year, kid. You saw what he did to Baylor. It should have been worse, man.
All right.
It was just bad.
Continue with the NFL.
I know it was snowing, which is why I give him a little, What you say?
I said, and your NFL disappointment and such.
Oh yeah. My biggest NFL disappointment has got to be the Detroit Lions. I mean, my lord, these fools. We thought last year they were undisciplined. You know what I mean? We thought they were undisciplined but very talented. And this year, another year, you would think they'd be more disciplined. Well, now they're even more undisciplined, and they played like they had no talent. Kyle Vanden Bosch, what was he doing all year? Well, what the hell was he doing? Where was he all year? I don't think I said his name one time all year. I don't think I've had to. He's been awful, just awful. He's been honestly. Have y'all seen that guy outside of his uniform, outside his pads and everything?
No.
He plays This year he played exactly how he looks, unthreatening at all. He was terrible. He was bad. They aside from Megatron, they all should be ashamed of themselves, including Stafford, who have been wildly inconsistent all year. They should all be ashamed of themselves, every last one of them.
Phil?
As far as college, I probably really don't have any disappointments as far as anything. The only thing I guess I could think of is I kind of wish Carolina would have won on a big game on the road, but I'm not that disappointed. They had a good season, but I guess if anything, I guess I could point to that.
Hold on, Phil. They are another big play person on offense, whether it be a running back or a receiver, away from actually doing something.
Right. I'm hoping. So I hope everything can come together. Losing Lattimore is gonna affect us, of course, but hold on a second. Hold on a second, Dad. So my dad want to call me. So there we go, right live on the podcast. As far as NFL though, I think I have a couple of teams that didn't do where I thought what they were gonna do. I think Chicago. I was like, come on, guys, I know, you don't have the Cutler excuse to jump on you this time. It's like, I build you up. I thought you were, going to be a legit contender this year, and then you just kind of, towards the end of the season. So, Chicago, you kind of disappointed me. I ain't going to lie. The Saints, I felt like I didn't think the coaching, losing Peyton was gonna hurt them that much to finish 7-9 and tie with the likes of Carolina and Tampa Bay. So that, of course, disappointed me. I didn't get to see New Orleans finish second 2 games over Tampa Bay, so that's definitely a disappointment. They tied Tampa with the tiebreaker. What's your Tampa Bay that you said finished? But to say that,
I said
your
several
Tampa
weeks ago
that you thought
they
you would
all
finish
finished.
second.
You dipshit.
They
You
finished
dipshit.
fourth.
You dipshit.
They finished fourth.
You asshole. I said a few weeks ago, Phil, if they all tie for second place, then honestly, it's second place. The Saints, Panthers, and Bucks all finished 7 and 9. Are you really gonna be a dick by like the division breakdown?
I ain't being a dick. Yes.
So yes,
Diego,
you are.
San Diego.
No.
What?
Oh, I paused the recording.
What?
So whatever you just said was not recorded. So if you're talking about San Diego being a disappointment, I'm saying that now.
Yeah, say it again, Phil.
Oh, I'm so lost. Big Red always throws me off. San Diego is another possible bit disappointment too, because I mean, they're not that talented, but I just thought Phillip Rivers would just take over after what he did last year.
On your record,
having a bad year.
On your record,
I think he was going to happen.
On your record, Phillip Rivers is going to get back to the form he used to be.
And he did. So I have to eat my words there, definitely.
What is going on though, man? That dude can't be that bad, dog.
It's not. That's the thing. Like, I don't understand why it just last year. I don't know. I don't know what happened this year. I have no explanation whatsoever. But
that's crazy.
I was really disappointed in that. I mean, I picked San Diego. I didn't do it on the podcast. We had started after, but on my YouTube channel, I did it. You know, I picked the Chargers to win the division. I look like a complete fool. It's laughable now. It is laughable now, but it wasn't before. I mean, I had legit points why I thought San Diego was
like over the Broncos.
I didn't. I know. There's nothing I can say to defend it because it was stupid.
Before or after Peyton?
What?
Was it before or after they got paid?
After Peyton. I just thought that they were going to go through enough struggles early on in the year that it was going to put, and San Diego was going to be good. I mean, that's what I thought that it would end up, making San Diego, edge them out. And that's what I thought, but it was stupid. Yeah. That's what I don't defend it on. That was the dumbest. That was probably out of anything that I will point to that. So yeah, that's probably the biggest disappointment since that's the biggest. I put up my neck on the line and they failed me. So there you go.
At least the Saints thing made sense, man.
Yeah,
what are you doing, Phil?
Oh no, that one. I don't understand where I was going with that one. And I wasn't even one of those people that thought that Peyton Manning was gonna struggle as far as like his coming back. Like I don't even think that, but I still put him. I don't know. Let's move on.
I'm going to think about my biggest disappointment because I'm gonna pick I'm not gonna have my biggest disappointment be 10 teams, Phil. I'm just gonna go.
What? Those all teams? I thought there was 4 teams. Thank you, not 10.
I'll be honest. I'll say my biggest. I'll say. Philip. I'll say my biggest disappointment was the Eagles. Purely because not just because of the not just because of the Super Bowl pick. Legitimately, Markeem. When they were 3-1 and had beaten the Giants and the Ravens, and they were 3-1, and you said on this show they suck and they will not make the playoffs. I was like, okay, good luck with that. I legitimately was like, this is like the second best team in the NFL record-wise, and this fool says they're not going to make the playoffs. And they already played 2 of the harder teams on their schedule all year. And I was like, okay.
Who's the fool now, kid?
All right. I will admit, I was indeed wrong in misguiding you. With that Saints game, I've never been so appalled. That to me was their worst game. I know the Giants game was a disaster, but that was the end of the season. No one cares. That Saints game legitimately switched everyone over from thinking this team is a playoff contender to this team is a disaster. That one game is what switched everyone's opinions. And in all honesty, I kind of feel, like I said, I feel stupid for picking them. Any other disappointments in mind? Not really. I mean, everything else kind of went almost exactly how I predicted it. What the fuck were you thinking, Johnny Football? Good Jesus. Anyways.
Hey, you just lay off it. You just had a whole awesome.
Yes. But that would be my biggest.
What's the score of that game?
7-6, 7-6.
7-6, Texans. Oklahoma can't get in the end zone.
So, I will say that.
Okay, go ahead, Big Rat.
Yeah, like I said, there's really nothing else to say. I don't know. I'm just shocked. I legitimately did not expect that, and I feel bad for doubting Markeem and his infinite wisdom, obviously, for everything that he does. But holy shit, John, how did I miss that run? But yeah, I legit feel bad for doubting, and I feel stupid. And I really like to feel stupid. And my other disappointment's the Cowboys. Like, I don't know. Like, I legitimately thought this was the year. And this is coming from someone. This is coming from someone that never picks Dallas. That never, ever, ever. Like, look at my record.
I feel you though, man. All that talent, they are so talented. It's just a little ridiculous how bad they are.
It's just
so talented. Like legit. Like I would say top 5 in the league talented.
And year after year, they just can't get it done. So those two really disappointed me. Everything else was pretty similar. But I want to look at our records. Yes, I'm bringing back our records to see just how right we were throughout the season. Let's start with Phil's record. Phil's record.
He's gonna love this one.
The Panthers and the Bucks have no chance to win division barring injury. Well, at the end of the day, they were way behind Atlanta. However, you saying the Bucks have no chance to finish second in the division? Go fuck yourself. Saints won't go worse than 9-7.
Oh, whatever. We were both wrong. Shut up.
Saints won't go worse than 9-7.
They didn't go worse than 9-7. Oh, 9-7. They went 7-0. That's right.
They went the reverse.
They went the reverse.
And would finish second in the division barring injury. Well, they didn't. Unless...
Yeah, they did do that.
No, the Panthers finished second, according to Phil's tiebreaker logic. If you use the actual record, they tied with the Bucks and Panthers.
No, it ain't my... No, whoa. Don't waste Phil's logic. That's how it works, Big Rat.
They all tied at 7 and 9.
That's how it works.
They tied at 7 and 9, you asshole.
You imbecile. They go by tiebreakers, you dummy.
All right, fine.
You gonna call me a dummy? I'll call you one.
Fine. Markeem is going to know a lot more of college football than me. Well,
you actually put that on the record.
I said that. That's funny.
I didn't know it was actually on the record.
That is funny. I remember it now. Yeah, I do.
Next up, we have Phillip Rivers is going to get back to the form he used to be.
Yeah, we've been over that.
Then after that...
Yeah, you were wrong about that, though.
What did you say, Markeem?
I said, I hate you were wrong about that, though. That's depressing. I was a huge fan of that dude here at NC State, man. Huge fan. What happened?
Then we have the NFC East is the best division in football.
Oh, how do you not catch that? How do you not catch that? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Phil, you remember when you said that?
Well, I totally... Wait, say that again? I totally missed that. I was looking at the game.
Yeah, Johnny Football threw a pick in the end zone, but his receiver wouldn't catch the ball.
Oh, you were talking about the NFC East?
Yeah.
Hey, it did come down to the wire. That's why I said it was
It's
tough.
still not the best division in football. No.
They are so nice.
You realize...
Take out the Philly collapse, and that's 4 contenders right there. That's
and the NFC North, and the NFC North that had 3 teams go 10-6 or better.
Didn't have 4.
That was
my point before the season.
You lunatic!
What? You know,
2 teams. Listen,
old, but anyway.
two teams in the NFC East did not finish with a winning record. I'm done. 2 teams did not finish with a winning record, and that's the best division in football. Man, fuck you.
2 teams in your AFC North did the same thing, Big Rat. They did the same thing, Big Rat. So find me a team. So bam.
NFC North.
NFC North. It was just
his thing was the AFC North. You said the AFC North was the best division of football. You said that.
Okay.
And that's what I said.
Yeah, just because we were wrong.
And they finished the same thing as NFC East.
Yes, but it's better. Like the Browns were better than the Eagles. Like
That's true.
the NFC, the
No, that's
AFC
true.
North, the AFC North was better than the NFC East. All right, but
like the Ravens. The Ravens are better than all those teams in the NFC East.
Well, that's true.
And the Bengals, I would say, are on par with those teams.
It's not my fault the Eagles decided to suck balls and the Giants decided to not play.
Hey, but that's what happens.
What happens, though?
What happens.
I have to eat my words because of it, but yeah, I know.
all right. Next
I
we
mean,
got.
but Phil, you should have known better. That's the NFC East. Every single year, some shit happens.
No,
You
but-
should know better.
Every
but my
single
point is
year,
the
every
potential
single,
there.
every single year, the winner of that division is 9-7. Every single year, it's 9-7.
Likes that. It doesn't matter who 9-7. The fact is that they're all three in it. All four usually in it. I mean, the Redskins weren't in it last year. But
All right.
shut up. I'm a really.
Like it's always some shit with that division, Phil. Take it from someone that's a fan of a team.
I know.
But it's always some shit, Phil. I'm telling you. It never works out that way.
Look, I'm just saying the potential there. I could have looked like a genius. Instead, I looked like a failure. I know. I'm just saying.
Here, Phil. But here,
I'm saying I could have looked like with the potential there. You have to admit, with the potential there, I could have been right. Is what I'm saying. I was wrong. I admit I was wrong. But.
Phil, let me pimp you up with some other stuff. Jadeveon Clowney will be the #1 overall pick next year. Well, if you ask any of the guys that watch that game, of course.
Yeah, it's looking like it.
If the Cardinals lose in Week 7 to Minnesota, they are done. Yeah, they never came back from that.
Bam.
The Falcons are the best team in the NFL.
I knew. I said what?
Yeah, Falcons are the best team in the NFL.
I didn't say that.
Phil, it's on your record.
That was probably as of week. Yeah, you didn't add what week that was though.
Phil, it says Falcons are the best team in the NFL. They were your Super Bowl pick to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So yeah, stick by your prediction.
I am. I didn't say anything about
The courage of your convictions, Phil. Come on.
I'm not. Hey, we'll get to the playoff.
All right. Then we got, and this one I will give Phil credit for because I did not think this would happen. A 10-6 team will not make the playoffs. And
Bam! Told you fools.
Dynamite on that, Phil.
Told you fools. The 10-16 was missing on the NFC side. I knew it.
there you go. Hey, respect. That was.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, respect.
That's actually impressive. Now we get to Markeem's record. In 5 years, we'll be talking about Andrew Luck. In 5 years, Andrew Luck and RG3 will be the two best quarterbacks in football. Well, we'll see about it.
It's looking like it now.
It's looking good so far.
The winner of the NFC South will not go better than 10-6.
Yeah, that's the worst one I said.
Michael Vick.
I remember that.
You said this in week 3. Michael Vick sucks, and the Eagles will not make the playoffs. And I personally applaud you on that one.
Good job, Markeem. Yeah, I applaud you on that too.
The Michael Vick sucks thing is common sense, though.
The #1 and #2 teams, 90% of the time, will make the national championship game. We got to wait another year to see that one. Then we got. I will never pick against Notre Dame for the rest of the year, including if they end up playing Alabama.
I didn't.
And now they're playing Alabama.
And they better win, man.
Okay. Then we got. I will never pick the Lions for the rest of my life. Well, until the day you die, Markeem, you can never, ever, ever pick the Detroit Lions ever again.
Never.
Like on this show next year,
I hope the Lions are like 12-0 next year.
Yeah, you have to every week automatically pick the team that's playing them if we discuss that game.
Yeah.
All right. The Packers will never run more than 80 yards.
Wow, that's on his record.
I don't know if that's true or not.
That's happened a couple times. So
West Virginia will never score more than 30 points a game.
What?
West Virginia will never score more than 30 points. This was after the Texas Tech loss.
I meant less. I was wrong either way, but I meant less.
And you were wrong there as well, as in last week.
Exactly.
No one will score more than 20 points against Notre Dame.
Hasn't happened yet.
I will never ever pick.
But it will.
I will never ever pick Texas Tech.
Oh, and I did it. Oh man, I went back on that because I did.
God damn it.
I thought it was TCU, but I did. So yeah.
And finally, I do not remember if this one is true or not. Michael Vick will not throw more than 200 yards against the Saints. I don't remember if he actually did or didn't that week.
I can't remember.
I'll look that up when you guys are talking later on. My record, I only had a few things. One.
He threw for 272 yards. I already found it. 272.
You were wrong.
How many turnovers?
Turnovers? One. Oh, he threw one interception.
But it was also a pick six. I remember it was the first score of the game. A pick six in the red zone.
Yeah, it was a 99-yard touchdown.
Well,
continue. Sorry.
My record: Peyton Manning will go farther than Eli Manning in the postseason. So far, so good.
Well,
you win, crown you champion.
Marvin Lewis will never win a playoff game. Remains to be seen.
We'll see.
Matt Ryan will not win in the playoffs this year.
We'll see.
And I will pick Tim Tebow if he is in the playoffs.
And he's not.
So right now I'm 1-0. So my record is better than all yours.
That's all that you got on your record.
But you were so safe though.
Yeah, you got like 4.
Well, I
guess.
I also had Bucks would finish second. So I'm good enough for that one. But yep, that's all I record so far. And now I think the pick of the year, without question, is Phil's 10-16 will not make the playoffs because I legit didn't see that one coming. So props to you.
Yeah, Phil, you get so much props for that.
Thank you.
I see that coming either.
I knew that NFC was competitive. I mean, that's just where I was basing it.
Now we got the playoffs this week. I'm obviously looking forward to it. I'm sure you are looking.
Kid, hold on, kid.
What?
We didn't do most surprising, most improved, all that shit.
Oh well.
These are superlatives, man. It's the end of the year.
Superlatives. That's
fine. I thought disappointment kind of covered a lot of. I thought disappointment and surprise kind of go hand in hand. Really, for me at least.
Okay,
that's true.
But not necessarily because a surprise can also
biggest surprise in a positive sense. That's what we'll do. Go.
So you want to go first? Or you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead. I can't think of anything right now.
Okay. I got one for each right now. My most surprising thing, period, is the Colts going 11-5. Dear Lord, this is the same team last year. And minus Peyton Manning went 2-14. They sign a rookie. I love Andrew Luck. Y'all both know this. They draft a rookie. And he's still a rookie though. And they go 11-5 and make the playoffs. This makes no sense. Shit like this doesn't happen. And I know nothing about anything, and I don't get why you listen to me.
Oh, Landry Jones just threw a pick.
Oh, hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Did you see that, Phil?
What now?
Landry Jones threw a pick.
Yeah, I saw that. Did you pause it?
No. Should I?
Oh, I was just wondering. Are we live?
Oh, shit. Am I even recording? Yeah, I am.
Oh, I would have slapped you.
No, I'll leave this on. Hey, everyone. This is raw, genuine, uncut emotion.
I'm back.
All right, finish.
All right, the Colts, that's the most surprising thing, period. And on the college side, the most surprising thing, I think, oh my God, is Notre Dame playing in the national championship game. Yo, I'm gonna be real. I thought they would win.
Oh, what? That was awesome.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Johnny Manziel.
Good Lord.
Johnny Manziel.
Oh, my God. That was incredible.
That fake. Oh, that fake.
Johnny Manziel.
And I'm missing off. You hear me? I'm the college football fan here, YouTube, and I'm missing this for y'all.
He faked.
Fuck y'all, man. Fuck you, YouTube.
He pumped the ball, faked it, instead handed it off, and then the running back threw like a 30-yard pass.
And now the running back is gone.
It was like a Statue of Liberty into a pass. It was incredible.
It was awesome. That play was awesome. Sorry, guys. You're getting raw footage of us.
Sorry, man.
Oh, man. And I'm missing all this.
Well,
I'm missing all this, y'all.
So right now, you really don't watch college football.
College football.
Yeah.
All right,
but yeah, like I said, Notre Dame being in the national championship. I thought they won 10 games and appearing to be BCS because Notre Dame has a deal to where, and it's not fair, but it's true. Because they're independent, if they win 10 games, they get one of the at-large bids. That's how it goes. I think all the independents had it.
And Johnny Football touchdown. Johnny Football scored again. Another
I don't think it's fair. Okay, but I don't think it's fair, like I was saying.
Yeah.
But them going undefeated, being in the national championship game, y'all could not tell me coming into this season that they were going to go down to Norman, Oklahoma and beat Landry Jones and them. Y'all couldn't tell me that was going to happen. And not only did they beat them, they dominated them. And Manti Te'o being a Heisman finalist, y'all couldn't have told me that either. Yeah, I mean, I was 100% convinced that Barkley was going to Heisman. Y'all saw how that turned out. So, that's just big ups to them. And Brian Kelly, who I thought was a hack, I won't lie, but he's definitely the best in the country. Notre Dame gets all the respect in the world. They would be the most shocking had it not been for the Colts.
Phil?
I'd probably have to agree with as far as I don't really have much surprises, but the Colts I would probably have to agree because I had them fourth in the division. Oh, not fourth in the division, third in the division behind the Tennessee Titans. So, so I don't know why I thought the Titans were going to do something, but there's probably another stupid move there. But yeah, I was surprised that the Colts were playoff team. Also, I'm surprised that the both wildcard teams for the NFC. I would have to say, Minnesota and Seattle both make it. I wouldn't have had either one in the playoffs, so it's gonna be cool. That's probably about all. I really wasn't surprised by much, but
as far as college is concerned, I would say the rise of Johnny Football. Like even as someone who didn't really pay attention to anything much outside the ACC, I mean when I first
think about that.
Like he's just like right now I'm watching him just like do amazing things that I would never ever expect from a freshman from Texas A&M. So I gotta give respect to him. NFL, I honestly think the Vikings is more surprising than the Colts. The Vikings I legitimately thought was the worst team in the NFL. I remember me and my friends were in the car and we were all saying how really there's not that many really bad teams anymore in the NFL. But this was with the expectation that the Lions and Eagles would go better than fucking 4-12. But we were saying no one's really that bad anymore. And then we all immediately said except the Vikings. Oh yes, except the Vikings. Adrian Peterson hurt? Oh yeah, fuck the Vikings. Like I legitimately thought they were the worst team in the NFL, ranked 32 of 32, and they made the playoffs. Are you kidding me? Like Andrew Luck, I expected the Colts to go 7-9 with him. I didn't expect them to go to the playoffs, but I expected 7-9. Vikings, I expected like 4-12. Instead, they go 10-6 and make the playoffs. God damn it. That's why the NFL's awesome. But yeah, I would say the Vikings and Johnny Football are my most surprising. All right, now we're moving on to the playoffs. I'm not going to do most improved. That's bullshit. We'll do that shit next week. When I'm better prepared for such.
Yeah. We'll think of more topics. Yeah. We'll think of more topics and do this whole thing next week. Since he didn't take that into account.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
You didn't. It's your job to put together these topics.
I thought I put together a good show. We've been talking for a long time. And we haven't even touched the playoffs yet.
It's all right. It's all right. It's okay.
Go ahead. Bury your own show. Bury your own show.
I'm just playing.
Vince Russo style. Playoffs.
Hey, hold on. Off topic real quick. Have y'all seen that NWO documentary?
No, I haven't watched.
Oh, man. It's great.
It's great? I heard it was bad. I thought it was bad.
You know why I say it's great? Because they all say what I was thinking the whole time. They're talking about the NWO. I get a little diluted. And there's a Latino world over and the red and black. And random guys that will pop up that were part of the I remember all that shit.
So they didn't praise
But
it.
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. Next we got the playoffs. Bengals, Texans. I'll go last on this one since I have a lot to say. But Phil, start us off. Who wins this game? Oh, wait. Let me first say our playoff brackets for the AFC. You both had the Steelers in, and I was the only one who had the Bengals in the playoffs. And
I switched though.
Yeah, you.
Like from initially.
Oh, our first picks. Yeah.
Yes, I had all 6 playoff teams exactly correct. I had the order wrong. I had the Texans, Broncos, Ravens, Patriots, Colts, Bengals. Pretty much put the Texans at 3, Patriots at 2. Everything else is pretty similar. But yes, Phil. Bengals versus Texans. The rematch. Who wins, Phil?
Okay. Who wins? This is, I know I'm gonna get slack off of this. I know it's coming, but it just had to come. I think that I think out of the Colts and let me explain myself. I think out of the Colts and Ravens game and this game, I think one of the team. I don't think Ravens and Texans both come out of this. And to me, I think the best upset to me feels like I feel like the Bengals can beat the Texans. I feel like the Texans I don't know what has happened lately. I just don't trust the 2 teams I actually don't trust the most in the playoffs right now are the Texans and the Ravens. Now the Ravens with the Ray Lewis has kind of backed off a little bit, but yeah, I still don't try. I just don't know. I don't know what these teams haven't done anything in a while. And I think the Texans, I could look wrong. I could come out and just dominate, but I think that I'm going to go out on a limb. This is the one pick I'm going out on a limb. I feel like you got to do that. You have to do that with one pick because one of these games is going to surprise us, and I think that the Bengals are going to beat the Texans. I think it's going to be close enough to where the Bengals can stay in the game and they end up closing the deal. And I got the Texans. I've got the Bengals beating the Texans. I know it's a shock. I know I might be the only one that's going to say that, but I've got the Bengals winning, and they'll go on to play Denver and probably get destroyed. But but there you go.
Markeem.
Phil, you shouldn't be shocked because that's like the style. I've been seeing a lot of people around the media, like different websites. I've been reading. A few people asked me, and I saw all picking the Bengals. That's like the style right now.
Okay. Well.
I, however, am not. I am a trendsetter. Okay, I don't just follow the style. And I'm going with the Texans.
Oh, don't make me look like I follow the style.
I just no, Phil. I totally understand because the Texans have just been like, who are these people the past few weeks? But I can't imagine them losing. Them dropping this game. Like, they're at home. This is the first top game Schaub gets to start. Aaron Foster had his way with them last year. I can't imagine it being any different this year. Andy Dalton has been better this year, regardless of how many people want to hate on my boy. But he's been better this year. And, A.J. Green's kind of coming to his own, too. But I think they'll do enough. I think this game will be close. It won't be a blowout like it was last year. But, and J.J. Watt, here's a stat for y'all. Andy Dalton, much I love this guy, third worst person in the league in terms of getting balls batted down. What does J.J. Watt do better than?
Nice stat, Markeem. Nice pull out. I'll give you props on that.
It's scary though, right? Scary. Just knowing what J.J. Watt does, and knowing Andy Dalton is terrible against that. This might, that might be a problem. But I do think it's going to be close. I think that Mark Lewis, as much as the kid hates him, Mark Lewis has them ready to play, and it'll be a close game. But I can't see them winning. That's just crazy to me. I can't see it. But if it happens, it will. But I can't see that happening.
And also, I think the collapse of the Texans, as far as like they had the number 1 seed locked basically, and now to really be forced to play one home basically it's just crazy to me. But don't get me wrong. I'm not. I know I'm picking the Bengals, but I'm not writing off the Texans. I don't think like a lot of people are just writing them off. I think if they win this game, they can have it's going to be
beat anybody.
Beat anybody. And it's going to be if they win this game, we'll see the rematch. So Texans and Patriots. So.
And hold on, I'm putting this on the record right now. If we do see the rematch of that game, they will not get blown out this time.
Well, I agree with that too.
They won't get blown out this time.
It won't be a blowout. No.
I don't know who's going to win, but they won't get blown out this time.
Okay.
All right, kid.
My turn. Obviously, I'm quite not fully
Yep.
objective because the Texans are my adopted team. They have been for a while. I picked them before the season to go to the Super Bowl when a lot of people were questioning that. And then all of a sudden, week 3, everyone's on their fucking bandwagon that I had been since last season. But this is the Texans. Like, I don't get why people are automatically writing them off. Here's a stat for you guys. Last year, the Texans lost their last 3 games going into the playoffs, including the fucking Colts, the worst team in football, and the Titans, another, mediocre 8-8, 9-7 team, I think, last year. Like, they lost their last 3 games going into the playoffs. This year, they lost 3 of their last 4 going into the playoffs. Like, it's the same thing. And they're playing the same fucking opponent they played last year. It's the exact same thing. It's the same situation, and I think it's going to end the same way. Because last year, I made the mistake of
Except
what?
I was going to say, except they have Schaub.
Yes, exactly. Last year, I made the mistake of picking the Bengals, and then the Texans murked them. And then the Texans beat the Ravens. They lost, but they were the better team that game. And had Jacoby Jones not fumbled that ball, and had TJ Yates not thrown 3 interceptions in the 4th quarter, I think they would have won that game. I think Schaub's in that game. Without question, they win that game. Like, this team, I've been saying it for the past, ever since they lost to the Patriots, this team is proven to be a playoff team. Kubiak proved last year that he can keep his game up in the playoffs and he can be a threat. If they pull that same shit this year, but with Matt Schaub as quarterback and not TJ Yates, this team can go to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying I picked them to go to the Super Bowl, but this team can go to the Super Bowl. And I'm rooting for them. They're obviously my team. I'm going to be really excited to see them play. But I honestly think people are too quick to write these guys off. I honestly think that this team is dangerous. I think this is a team that no one is talking about, and this is a team that no one is giving credit to. But even the Packers, a lot of people are giving the Packers a lot of credit recently. They may not be getting a lot of the coverage, but I've seen a lot of people pick them to go to the NFC title game and to the Super Bowl. I think this team is dangerous. I think this is a legitimate dark horse. And honestly, it's the exact same thing as last year. It's the exact same fucking thing. And I don't know why people think it's any different. They're playing the same opponent. You first heard about J.J. Watt last year. It's the same damn thing. It's the same exact thing as last year, except they got a much better quarterback. So I'm going with Matt Schaub and the Texans. And I honestly think people are overlooking Houston. But whatever. Next game. Packers, Vikings. Markeem, your turn. You go first.
Oh, man. I think this is going to be the game of the weekend because the Packers cannot stop Adrian Peterson. That much has been proven. Claire Matthews with the most vague guarantee ever. He will not rush for 200 yards on that. Yeah, he'll rush for 170. Come on, Clay. Come on. Not a rusher or a skill player that averages 200 yards against you because he essentially averages 200 yards against the Packers. It's hard to beat someone like that. So I feel like, having a skill player constantly do that to you, it's hard to win that way. I got the Packers, but I'm not confident, not even a little bit. I feel like if the Packers get past this game, watch out.
That's a flag. That should be a flag.
Phil?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Phil, we should go.
Oh, all right. I was distracted.
And it was a flag.
I have the Packers. I have the Packers winning this game. I think that I just don't see the Vikings winning back-to-back games, and I don't see them winning in Lambeau. But I agree with what Markeem said as well. Though if they can't stop AP, then it's going to be a long night for them. So, and I think me and Markeem, I don't remember we've been dropping so many calls. Big rat. So I can't remember if this was on the air or not. But me and Markeem were talking about the fact that every game this weekend could literally go. You can't be shocked by any result out of anybody winning, and I think that's the case in this game as well. But I've got the Packers. Should be some great games this weekend, by the way.
Yep.
There's not one matchup that I don't have something to look for.
I have Green Bay purely for the reason that it's back-to-back. Like, I just don't see anybody in the NFL beating any of the top 5 quarterbacks 2 weeks in a row. That goes for Peyton, that goes for Brady, that goes for Breeze. I just can't see anyone beating Aaron Rodgers back-to-back. Now, Ponder's playing better, And Peterson obviously owns this defense, but I just don't see it. I think they're going to get out-coached because Mike McCarthy, I do think, is a superior coach, and I think they're just going to win. Remember, people forget their first game, I mean, I think it was close. Was it, 21-14? It might have been 21-7. I don't remember. But, like, no,
21-14.
No, it was 23-14.
Yeah.
23-14, I think. But whatever the case may be. That first game, from what I saw,
23. It was 23-14.
The Vikings didn't look like that competitive. They were kind of just in it because Adrian Peterson was running for 210. Obviously, Ponder's gotten better, but he's still. I don't know. I can't. I still too early to trust the Vikings for a team that barely missed the playoffs against a Super Bowl favorite. Wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not picking the Vikings. I'm picking the Packers as well. Colts, Ravens. Phil, you start us off this time.
Yes, I got, like I said earlier, talking about out of these two games, I thought this game and the Texans-Bengals game, I thought there would be an upset in one of these, and I went with the upset with the Bengals over Texans, so I'm going with Braves in this game. I think the Ray Lewis potential of his last home game in the playoffs as well, that could be last playoff game. I'm not saying, like, I agree with what we were talking about earlier. You know, it's not that big of a, I don't think it's going to be. It's being outplayed a little bit as far as his influence in the game, but I think Ray Lewis is just going to have these guys playing. I just don't see the Ravens losing this game, and I feel a little bad for Andrew Luck because I kind of wanted to see it. I actually hope I'm wrong. I hope the Colts, Andrew Luck is able to get a playoff win for him. I think it'd be good for him and everything like that. But I just got the Ravens winning this game. I just don't see the Colts winning. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. We'll see what happens. But I got the Ravens.
Y'all know what I said about a month ago. That
this boy gets in the playoffs.
he's in the playoffs now, and that's what he does. I saw how he used to do in bowl games when games are bigger and tighter. That's what he did. He just went off. Ask USC about that. Ask anybody about that. I believe he will have his best game as a pro to this point in this game, and I believe that off that performance itself, he will will these dudes to win. Like, I feel like after the game, when Ray Lewis is giving his little speech, goodbye, and if he's actually retiring, a lot of people say he might not be, but he's actually leaving. He'll give his little speech, like, I had a great run, blah, 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 and that boy, Andrew Luck, is bad. He'll say some shit like that. That's like on his way out the door, something like that. That is the performance he is about to have. I cannot wait. I feel it. I have no logical football reasoning behind it. In every way, shape, or form, the Ravens, quite honestly, should destroy these dudes. I just believe in Andrew Luck that much. I'm going with them in a close game.
I got the Colts as well.
All right, kid.
I got the Colts as well. I don't know. I think that I'm really, really sensing the upset. Again, I just have no real evidence for it. It's a gut. Like, all week leading up to the Broncos-Steelers game, I had a gut feeling that some crazy shit was going to happen. And I didn't go all the way with it because it was just too ridiculous. I was like, come on, man. It's the fucking Broncos against the team you have going to the Super Bowl. Like, it can't happen. But, I mean, this time I'm not going to deny that feeling. Tim Tebow proved me wrong. I can't deny that feeling. And
we're putting Andrew Luck and Tim Tebow in the same thing. We reached a whole new level.
Oh,
listen, the Ravens, 3 of the past 4 weeks have looked terrible. The Colts, they're hot. They looked amazing against the Texans. You know what? I'm going with my gut. I'm sticking with the Colts. Then we got the last game of the week. The two teams that are exactly the fucking same when it comes to their quarterbacks. And it's ridiculous to think that RG3 should get Rookie of the Year. Seahawks, Redskins. Markeem, go.
This is the one I'm the most torn on. Even the Colts and Ravens game, I was quick to pick the Colts, how much I love Andrew Luck. RG3 is just a notch below my love for Andrew Luck. this Seattle defense is just punishing. Even though if they have any weakness at all, it's against the run. And this is the number one rushing attack in the NFL.
They're number 10, but even then, they're still number 10 against the run. It's not like they're number 20.
Yeah, I know, but there have been times where they look terrible against the run, though.
Okay.
Just saying. But, I'm going to go with the Redskins. I'm going to go with the Redskins because I believe in RG3. I believe in RG3 and Andrew Luck. Like I said, man, what will be straight up nirvana for me if they both made it to the Super Bowl. Now, wouldn't happen. But y'all, I would not be able to control myself. I hope y'all know that. Like, we couldn't even do this. The week of the Super Bowl, we couldn't do the show. We just could not do the show. This would be the worst show ever. But I'm gonna go with RG3 though, just because I think that they're at home for one, which is a major advantage over the Seahawks because the Seahawks are unbeatable at home. Unbeatable. If they would have won the West, dog, like that would have been scary. You know what I mean? It's unbeatable at home. So I'm gonna go with the Redskins.
Well, it would be. Why not? Why don't I go against you on this one? No, I got the Seahawks. I think both teams are hot. I think it's going to be. This is the game I'm looking for most forward to. I just think it's like Big Rat said. They're both very identical. I think it's going to be really good game, really close back and forth game. Which, if that says anything about what this year has been as far as what we thought games were going to be, then that means I'm totally going to be wrong. But I think after the Seahawks did what they did to the Niners, man, I think this team is ready to play some ball. I want to see Seattle win this game, and I think they will. I got Seattle taking this one. Moving on.
Seattle has looked unstoppable recently.
We know who he is picking. We know who he got.
All right, okay. Let me say, I get flack.
What do you say?
I get flack for being the RG3 hater back here in Miami. I do not hate this man. I enjoy watching this man play. I just root for him to fail. It's no big deal.
I just root for him. root for him to fail.
In all seriousness,
no big deal.
In all seriousness, I really, really, really enjoy his play. It's just that I don't think. I just can't give him that much credit because, like, I love Alfred Morris. I think this dude's a monster, and to see Alfred Morris do 50% plus, at least 50% of the work every week, on this team, just really makes me. Phil, I have an echo from you now. What the fuck?
What?
I hear my own words from your side.
It might be me. Is it me?
Well, I'm just going to keep going. Okay. I'm just going to keep going and try to ignore it. I've heard this shit every week, week after week. I see Alfred Morris do 50% of the work and sometimes more, and RG3 is christened like a god because he's entertaining. It's the Michael Vick effect. Your spectacular performance overrides your actual ability. And yes, RG3 is a much better quarterback than Michael Vick. And he's a tremendous, tremendous quarterback. But
I was about to say.
But it just pains me week after week to see this player I love, and Alfred Morris, just do so well and get no respect when RG3 does half to less than half the work and gets all the credit. RG3 missed a fucking game, and they gave him all the credit for the Redskins winning 7 straight. And he missed one of those 7 that he was supposedly the mastermind of creating this wonderful streak. Like, it just drives me fucking... At least Tebow was doing the game-winning drives. RG3 doesn't even do that. At
least he was out there playing. I'll give you that.
And Alfred, like, their game-winning drives, quote-unquote, is Alfred Morris running out the clock and the other team not having enough time to get the ball back to score. That's their game-winning drives. It's not like what Tebow is doing. It's not like what Luck does now. RG3 doesn't do that. When has RG3 this year mounted a comeback and, like, score, like, a last-minute touchdown victory? Has it even happened once? Like, it just... I get it. He's entertaining. He's fun. I enjoy him so much. I think he's so much fun to watch. I think he's a lot of fun to watch. It just makes me want to bash my fucking brains out that he gets this much credit when the dude never fucking throws the ball. He completed 9 passes last week. 9 passes. And all everyone talked about was RG3 taking the Redskins to the playoffs. That's all I heard all week long.
Just like me last year.
At least Tebow, but again, Tebow legitimately, like in that Steelers game, Tebow legitimately won that game. Not the running game, not the defense. That was all Tebow. When do you ever see that from RG3? That's almost never the case. How many game-winning drives does RG3 have? Like, it's...
Giants game?
The Giants...
Oh, no, he lost. My bad.
They lost. That's right, yeah.
And the second
Giants... the defense pulled to South Carolina.
Oh, Markeem, you had to.
So, like, it just bothers me that he gets so much credit that they put him on the same level as Luck and Breeze and Rodgers and Brady, when in my opinion, if he were in a throwing the ball 50 times a game type system, he would struggle. Honestly. Right now, this season, if he were on the Colts, I do think they would be 7-9. I do think they would not have been 11-5. With that line, you kidding me? There's no way he would be able to...
That's also not RG3, though.
But I think Andrew Luck, it'd be the same thing.
No, I do too. They both wound up in the exact perfect place for the both of them. But at least Andrew Luck's production is something that you can put on most NFL teams and it will work. RG3's is so gimmicked that there's only 2 teams in the NFL that do it. And do it successfully, don't get me wrong. But when you have an amazing defense and when you have a great running attack, like, I mean, look at quarterbacks who have won Super Bowls on that formula. You don't have to be a great quarterback to be on a team with a great defense and great running attack to go to a Super Bowl. Look at Trent Dilfer. Look at all Rex Grossman. Look at anybody.
Look at Terry Bradshaw's titles.
Like, it's legitimately, like, I think RG3, the fact that this dude does so little and he's put on the same level as everyone else. I mean, Russell Wilson's the same, but Russell Wilson has those game-winning drives. Russell Wilson has like 4 game-winning drives this year. Yes, including the Packers game. I get it. But Russell Wilson, when called upon to save his team, has done so. RG3 has not done that. And that's why...
But he hasn't been called upon that often, though.
As often? Maybe not. Maybe not. And that Giants game, first game, that was rough. But... my point is, if he hasn't been called upon...
Yeah, like he won that game. His defense just lost it.
I like RG3 a lot. I really enjoy him. I just think he's he's overrated. There's no other way around it. I think he gets too much hype. I think the way ESPN glorifies him kind of drives me insane. Even you, Markeem, you're a big fan of his. And you even said that sometimes the hype drives you a little nuts.
Yeah. Like, it's hard to cheer for him, man. Skip Bayless is fair player, so now it's hard to cheer for him.
So, I am picking the Seahawks. Obviously,
because Skip Bayless. Let me tell you about the contradictory of Skip Bayless. Hate to bring up Tebow, but last year when Tim Tebow was winning all these games late, it was that, well, Tebow, he's a special, he's a gamer, blah blah blah. Andrew Luck does this. He got the hole for them to begin with. So Tebow didn't do that last year? Come on, Skip. Come on, man. It does not work both ways.
All right, I would agree. But obviously, maybe my judgment is a little clouded here.
But in RG3, the entire game, he's careful with the ball, and RG3 is wise beyond his years, and blah 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 blah. When we say that about other people, it doesn't matter because it ain't RG3. Fuck Skip Bayless. Fuck Skip Bayless.
I honestly think I'm biased, but it's not like I'm picking an upset. You know, I'm picking the favorites. I'm picking the team that has looked incredible, that a lot of people are picking to go to the Super Bowl, and I don't think they go out right now. I think they play the Falcons. What?
I said a lot of people picking them to win the Super Bowl.
Yes. FootballOutsiders.com, the website, Vinny Bear, I mentioned that website a lot on the show, where they use numbers to break down the best teams in football. They said the 3 teams with the best chances to win the Super Bowl are in order: the Broncos, the Patriots, and then the Seahawks. Like, really? In that order. In fact, I had the whole list. I was actually quite appalled by it. They don't see... Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. They have the Colts as having no shot at all to even win this week's game. So that's why I was a little hesitant on my pick. But again, same thing with the Broncos last year. I'm sensing the upset, and I'm sticking with it. But I do remember, here it is, the playoff odds. The Colts have a 0.2% chance. Then the Vikings with 0.4. Then the Texans with 0.9. Then the Redskins. Then the Bengals. Then the Ravens. Then the Packers. Then the Falcons. Seahawks, San Fran, Patriots, Broncos. So it's Broncos, Patriots, San Fran, Seattle. My bad. Those are the top 4. They have the Colts dead last at 0.2% chance. But the Seahawks are a strong team. They're very well-rounded on all sides of the ball. I got the Seahawks here. And I think that about does it, unless anyone has any last comments that they want to say. Great bowl season.
Oh, yeah, y'all want to make, y'all want to confirm or deny our Super Bowl picks now? Y'all want to
sure.
our Super Bowl pick?
Sure. We'll make official playoff. I mean, we don't have to do each game because week by week we're going to go over all the games. But Super Bowls, yes. Markeem, Broncos, Packers is actually looking pretty good right about now. You want to stick with that?
I want to lock that in, and I want to say this. Anybody that's picking the Niners now is kind of ridiculous. Justice Smith is playing with one arm, and I would not pick them.
For those who don't know, for those who do not know, Justice Smith tore his triceps, which is the exact same injury that Ray Lewis had. And look how many weeks that guy missed.
Justice Smith is the leader of that defense. I like Patrick Willis, dominant dude. What's his name? Navarro Bowman. His name Navarro Bowman.
Yeah.
He's dope too. You know what I mean? Alden Smith is the most talented dude. But if you're asking him, I'm pretty sure they'd take Justin Smith. Well, I would say Justin Smith is the most talented. Alden Smith is the most explosive. Everything he does draws attention. They get in there and just wreak havoc. You know what I mean? But without him, I don't think Alden Smith is able to explode the way teams can come up with ways to block him. Now, it's going to come down seriously to Patrick Willis and Bowman doing everything. And I don't believe it will work against some of the elite offenses in this game. I think that the Packers will shred them, will completely annihilate them. I really believe that if the Packers get past the Vikings on Saturday and they get to the Niners, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my record. It won't be close. Down on my record.
Wow.
It won't be close.
Won't be close.
I really believe that. Like Justin Smith playing with one arm, he ain't the same player.
That's true.
And then they already showed that they're vulnerable. I mean, they gave up a 28-point lead in 18 minutes to the Patriots. Don't get me wrong. Other than your boys, and they played well. Props to them for staying in that game. Tom Brady wasn't that great, and they still gave up 28 points. Come on, man. And I was with Justin Smith for most of the game. Without him, I don't see how that happens. I don't see. And it has nothing to do with the Niners being worse or anything like that. I just think everyone is better now.
That's good. That's true.
But go ahead, Phil. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't. Go ahead, Mark. Whatever.
Phil, it's your turn. Oh, no, wait. Markeem, AFC side, sticking with Denver?
I'm sticking with Denver.
Phil, are you sticking with your Patriots?
Nothing really to add. I'm just sticking with Denver.
Phil, you sticking with Patriots Falcons?
Yeah, the Falcons side of it. I still think the Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to get to at least the NFC Championship game, and I think I'm just going to stick with them going to the Super Bowl. I'm wrong. I'll eat my words, but I want to stick to it. I want to stick to the Falcons. I'm hoping this is the year. And as far as the AFC side, obviously we all know I'm always gonna, but I honestly believe the Patriots are gonna go. One thing I want to say about the Broncos is something that's actually hurt my team recently with these big streaks going to the Super Bowl, going into the playoffs. Now, yes, they could carry this streak into the Super Bowl, and that's when they lose. But I just think the Broncos, this streak of they haven't had a bad game in forever. They've won, 11 games in a row. I mean, I think that's going to end up hurting them. I think it's going to hurt them in the AFC Championship game against the Patriots. But it could. I'll say this. I want to say this because everybody called me biased and whatever. If the Patriots don't go, I still do have the Broncos going though. So like if I can't pick the Patriots, if you tie my hands together, I got the Broncos. I think the Broncos are
Yo, Phil, you better hope the Bengals get it done this weekend.
What?
No, you better hope the Bengals lose this weekend because the Broncos got to see the Bengals. That's essentially just another bye week.
Yeah, but no, that's actually works in my favor, to be honest. Like
but I'm saying that means
if the Broncos don't have a test and their first test is the Patriots, I'm down for that.
I understand that means they get a practice game to keep their momentum going.
And it's not that bad. I wouldn't say it's practice game.
Yo, Phil, the top seeds. Phil, what?
Hold on. I can't hear both of you all the same
Phil,
time.
I'll say, when you're talking about the top 2 seeds, when they get bounced in playoff upsets, it usually happens in that first game. So if you give them another week to build momentum, they won't flop in the championship game. Their momentum will just keep going. Had the Packers beaten the Giants, they probably would have won the Super Bowl.
I don't think they're gonna flop. I didn't say that. I'm just saying like to if they get the Bengals after they've gone this whole stretch, then they get the Bengals, and I don't think that's an easy win, but they win. It probably is an easy win, but I'm saying like I don't think it's a blowout. Is what I'm saying.
Here's
I think
your problem.
It's an easy win. Like they're up. But then they have to go and face New England the next week, like, which is in Denver, so that's huge for them. But
the Patriots' problem is overconfidence. If you remember that Jets game, they massacred that team earlier in the season, 45-3, and then the Jets went into Foxborough and kicked their ass and won. So I do think if the Texans,
I wouldn't say overconfidence is a problem with the Patriots. No.
Fine, okay, but if
there's
Texans,
any team in the league,
kid, I got to disagree with you on that.
All right, overconfidence isn't the right word. What? Overconfidence isn't the right word, but I'm merely saying you guys don't do well with second matchups. Is that fair? Playing the Giants again, playing the Ravens again, playing the what's it called? The fucking Jets again in big playoff games.
We beat the Ravens and we've beaten the Steelers before a second time when we had to face them. We've done the same thing with the Colts.
Steelers was 0-4.
The Patriots' worst problem.
Steelers was
but I would say the Patriots' worst problem is getting up for games. I wouldn't say like getting motivated. I would say is their worst problem.
So
getting up. What do you mean by getting up?
I mean getting motivated. Look at the Giants Super Bowl. the first one, not the second one. The first one.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, last one we were walking in the park.
Yeah.
And it came out like it was supposed to be walking in the park.
Right. That's one where even me as a fan, that was like the first time I've ever been cocky as a fan,
even the Ravens game when they. I'm sorry, Phil. I know you hate hearing about it, but they got outplayed because they expected to just beat these dudes, man.
So I'm saying
I don't think that's
hold on, listen to me. So if they play the Texans again, how will that be any different? I'm pretty sure they'll be expecting.
Yeah, like like you really think how motivated you think they're gonna be? Like we killed these, whatever.
I think it'll be tough. I mean, I don't think they're gonna look. I don't think they look at it like that. Not a Bill Belichick team. No, I don't think they look at it like that.
Watch out for the Houston.
I mean, Phil, it happens a lot though.
It happened to the Jets.
I think the only time they've been like that you could say they were overly confident. I agree with the Jets thing. They were probably like that. But then the Giants Super Bowl, that was it.
Confident. I think overconfidence is a word. I think that a lot of times they feel challenged. I'm not saying confident. I'm saying that they're not really motivated because what more can they do?
Well, right. I understand that, but my thing is a Brady versus Manning game is not going to be underplayed. Belichick's not going to look at it like, well, we beat these guys earlier in the season.
I do think
we're good to go. No, I think that
I think
Belichick will be more prepared for that game than any other game.
There is a chance though that the Patriots in 2 weeks will be expecting to play a Brady Manning game and may not take the number 3 or 4, whatever seed they play, too seriously.
Well, that's true. I mean, that can. I mean, the Patriots don't overlook. I mean, that's just my thing. They don't overlook.
And I'm just saying, Phil, you better be rooting for everybody except the Bengals because if the Broncos see the Bengals, that's gonna be like nothing for them.
But it's
true. That's gonna be like nothing.
Right. But see, to me, I look at it differently. I look at let them play another cupcake or whatever. I mean, I don't think the Bengals are a cupcake, but let them have an easy win and then have then they have to face us if we win, and it'd be a tough matchup. If they get a tough matchup, then they're more. I think would prepare them more. Not just here's another break. You know, you look at Peyton Manning. He knows he hates the bye. You know, he said that. I mean, he hates he's hated resting and all this other stuff. So to have a good game, I mean, to have a game where he knows it's easily going to win, and they beat the Bengals and then move on. I think for Peyton, they need to face a tough opponent. So I would actually want to see him face the Bengals.
I also think you need.
So I don't agree.
You also need to shut the fuck up, but that's a different story.
You shut up, Big Rat.
Shut up, Big Rat. And you know, if they face someone harder, there's a good chance they lose. Like, let's put it like this. Let's be real. I bet even the kid can agree with this. The Broncos truly, if the Patriots play their game, will only challenge to that team in the AFC if they play their game.
Right. That's what. Yeah,
you know,
I agree with that. Like, as I said, if the Patriots don't
happen, so maybe you won't have to face these dudes. That's my point.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right. Okay.
History.
I agree with you. I agree with that, Mark. Maybe I agree. Maybe I you know, I should want a better team. Because I mean, there's no logic whatsoever I can say in the Bengals beating the Broncos. So I get what you're saying. You're saying like I might want to have somebody at least that way we won't have to, you know. But then nobody will say, well, the Patriots didn't beat the Broncos. So.
Like you want them to have a dog fight before they get to y'all, man.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's what I want. Right.
I think history tends to repeat itself, and maybe the Jets game earlier this year where they didn't take the Jets seriously at first, and then they almost lost, and the next time they played them, they romped them. Dolphins game. Didn't take the Dolphins seriously at first, almost lost, and the next time they played the Dolphins, romped them. With the Jets game 2 years ago, didn't take them seriously at first, lost. Giants, first Super Bowl, didn't take them as seriously as they should have, lost. The Ravens, probably in the playoffs 2 years ago, didn't take them as seriously, lost. Last year, didn't take them as seriously, almost lost. I think if they play the Texans, if anything, the most famous quote in football that I like, my favorite quote in football, it's not really a football quote, it's a life quote, but it applies a lot in football. Those who do not learn from history are condemned to repeat it. And if this Patriots team is still if Belichick thinks that the way he's coached this team the past 8 years is okay, they will never win another Super Bowl. Because it has failed year after year after year after year because they always screw up somehow. And unless Belichick completely changes that way, then I don't think the outcome of a lot of these Patriots games will change. And I do think that if they play the Texans, I'm not going to say I'm going to go on the record and pick the Texans. We got to wait. I need to see the Texans play. But I do think just that history tends to repeat itself. And if you do not learn, and I just see the Patriots make the same mistake year after year with constant amount of different teams, and it hasn't changed. And if it doesn't change, they'll lose. Simple.
But
they went to the Super Bowl last year, Big Red. But they're just going to say what you're saying. You're going to go to the Super Bowl again and lose. That's what you're saying. If history repeats itself.
And if history repeats itself, that means the Texans are going to get killed again.
Yeah. So yeah, history repeats itself.
But no, I see what you're saying. I'm just overanalyzing your point, but I see what you're saying.
If you see the history of the Texans in the playoffs, then you'll see them give them a real threat. Because last year, if Matt Schaub's on that team goes to the Super Bowl. Easy, my opinion. But anyways,
not about easy, but I think they would have been there.
So, anyways, that about does it for this week. That's our YouTube Take Edition. We covered all the playoffs, all the bowl games. We'll be back next week with more. I'm your host, Big Red 310, who keeps dropping with my other two guests here.
It's Nightmareballa1.
And yours truly.
Monday, National Championship.
Yes. Notre Dame, come on.
Can finally watch. So yeah, there you go. Monday.
Monday it is, and I can't wait to be able to walk proudly. As I said, Notre Dame was going to win. Oh, I got a bet with my uncle actually that they covered the spread too. So hopefully that happens as well.
I can't believe that spread is 8 points. That's crazy.
Got a bet with him. He's like, "Oh, they'll cover the spread." I was like, "No, they won't." Anyways, I'm out too.
All right, so thank you very much, and we are out. Goodbye. If it was recording, yes, it was.